Welcome back to the Name Redacted Podcast, America's most beloved podcast, the most downloaded Red Sox podcast in the world. Three more. That's it. That's all we got to get through. 3 more miserable fucking baseball games played by this miserable fucking baseball team. And the pain and suffering ends. We don't have to ever talk about just how, 2020. We rarely ever refer to that season ever. We don't have to. It's over. Once the pain and suffering ends, you can move on with your life and you don't have to think about it. You don't have to talk about it. And I can't wait for the 2022 Boston Red Sox to fall into that category. And as a 162 guy, some fans, Keith has been following me since way back when, before Barstool. I remember him from back in 2012, 2013. He was tweeting with me. He was like, is it cool if I'm a 158 guy? Cause I'm done with this shit.
That's real. That is some real shit.
Yeah. But I don't even have to say anything to him because I know the sickness. I know you say that you're done, but I know you're going to watch the last 3 games. I know you're going to watch. You watched 158 games, then you watch the next night. You're going to watch games 160, 161, and 162. I know you are. You have to. And last night, because the Red Sox are getting smoked by the Blue Jays again. What was it? 9-0?
Yesterday was 10-0, and then
10-0.
Friday was 9-0.
9-0. So 9-0. 9-0 Friday night. I went out to dinner. I went out to dinner on Friday night, and it was at one of those restaurants where, you're kind of next to the fucking people that have the table next to you. If you're sitting on the bench, they're sitting on the same bench as you, and they just kind of put a little space between the tables. So some people feel like they can just start talking to you. Just we're not I'm not with you over here, but because you're so close, you're up each other's ass. They just start talking to you, whatever. So Friday night, Red Sox are getting absolutely throttled by the Blue Jays, and I've got my phone on the table, and I've got NESN 360 fired up, and I'm watching this 9-0 Red Sox ass beating in a game that doesn't matter. There's nothing interesting happening. Nothing. The Red Sox aren't going to come back and win this game, even if they did. Who fucking cares? And this couple next to me, first they were just oh, why? Because people had people up and said hi, and what was it? Joe's on Newberry, so they were super nice. There was a gentleman behind the bar that sent over shots. There was another waiter that was super nice. He's from East Boston, and we were talking. So they got intrigued, and they were like, "Who are you?" And I was like, "I don't know how to answer that question." And they're like, "Well, what do you why are people coming up?" And I was like, "I don't know." I was like, "I do a podcast, whatever, blah blah blah." And they're like, "Oh, so that explains the phone," because we thought that was rude. And I was like, "Well, I didn't fucking ask you."
Jesus.
Yeah, we were just saying how rude that was to be out to dinner with someone and have your be watching the game. And I was like, well, that's my fucking job.
They don't sound like 162 guys and girls to me. That's all I'm hearing.
No. Definitely not 162 people. But they were nice. They were just kind of curious, why were people keep coming up to your table, and why is this guy? I mean, they obviously didn't know what the score was. They probably had no idea that the Red Sox were mathematically eliminated. They didn't know the extent of how big of a loser I was for having the game on. Maybe if it had playoff implications, it would have been a little bit more understandable. But they were very befuddled by the phone on the table situation. So then Saturday night, I sent out a tweet. When the Red Sox were losing 10-0, I said, I would rather piss blood than watch the rest of this Red Sox season. And then I get a text at the end of the night from someone within the Red Sox, texted me that tweet back to me and was like, you want tickets for for the last couple of games here? And I was like, yeah, all right, fine. So,
you're a sick fuck.
They just know. Like, I don't want to watch these games, but I know that I'm going to. Of course I am. Of course I am. I feel like, and I've said this before, you can't enjoy the 2018s, the 2013s, the 2007s, the 2004s. You can't enjoy those seasons to their fullest capabilities unless you sit through these fucking seasons. Like, you have to wear it. You have to. It's almost like, one of my first recollections of that was after the Red Sox eliminated the Cleveland Indians at the time. You can say Indians because it was the Cleveland Indians in 2007. I remember.
Great World Series year.
Great World Series year. Probably the fourth is
one of
probably
the best.
a rank at number 4.
Right up at the top.
I'd have it somewhere in the top 4.
Top 2.
Top 4 for me.
2.
Victor Martinez, after the Red Sox were celebrating going in the World Series, Victor Martinez was sitting on the top step of the dugout, and he looked like he was in tears. Like, he was like furious. And he, obviously ended up with the Red Sox. Great player. Great hitter. And that kind of just like sat with me. I mean, a lot of players do this, but I think like that was like the first time it really, really stood out to me. Like, your season's over. I mean, they were up 3-1, and they ended up losing to the 2007 Boston Red Sox, who went on to win the World Series that year. But that had an impact on me as a young fan, where you have to watch it. You got to let it hurt. You can't just block it out and be like, fuck it, whatever. We'll be back next year. Like, let that hurt get in there, and then you take that into the next season. So when you do have success, it feels that much better. And I know that not everyone's going to do that. Not everyone agrees. A lot of people have checked out. A lot of people have checked out on this Red Sox team because Victor Martinez, he only had to sit there and endure the pain for, 10 minutes. We're on fucking month number 5 of this every single goddamn night, feeling either pain or nothingness. So it's more of a metaphor than anything else. But yeah, I'm just Victor Martinez sitting in the top side of the dugout watching not just one team celebrate, every team celebrate except for us.
Well, that's the thing. And I look back at 2021 and why we enjoyed that year so much. It was a year after pain and suffering. I think it's similar to 2013 as well in a lot of ways. And that's just it. You have to wear these times when you're looking at the roster and, let's be real. They didn't score a run the first 2 games of the series. The offense didn't do a damn thing. One guy on the entire offense had RBIs this series, and it's Bobby fucking Delbeck. The guy's been in AAA the last couple weeks.
King.
A king. To some, to few. But that's what you had. You didn't have a pitcher on the Red Sox have a scoreless appearance or outing until the final game. Every guy who pitched in the first and second game gave up at least 1 run. Like, there is nothing.
Team sucks, Tyler.
They're horrendous. They're very bad. And you just have to wear it during these times. You look even back at last year, and 2021 had its ups and downs. You realize how healthy they were able to stay, how many things have to go right for a year like that to happen. And I think back to 2013 in that way as well, where it was like, just health is on your side constantly. This year, you lose 4/5 of your rotation. Trevor Story dies multiple times, and you have nothing you can really do about it. It's happened throughout the entire roster. Michael Wacha, the guy who's been the best pitcher on your staff, spent 2 different stints on the IL this year. It's just, I hate the people right now. Like, if you're not sitting through this, it bothers me if you're going to be those people chirping the loudest on Twitter. Like, all those people today, I'm tweeting the game, whatever it may be. Football's on. Like, shut the fuck up. Please, seriously, shut the fuck up. We've committed our lives. 159 fucking games of this year I have given to this team. I'm going to ride it out. I am not going to tap for those last couple games. I'm sorry. I can't do it. I don't care how ugly it is. I tweeted out that 2012 lineup the other day. You want to know what ugly is? You want to know what hell is? Listen, there's a lot of things. Oh, not even. James Loney wasn't even in the lineup this day. So, it was one of the really, really dark days.
Can I guess some of the names? Because I didn't see the tweet.
Sure. Go nuts.
Was Mauro Gonzalez?
Gomez, but yes.
Mauro Gomez?
Yep. He's batting cleanup.
Oh, man.
It's a good day. Was Will Middlebrooks in that lineup? Nope. This was after he broke his hamate bone, I believe it was that year, or was his wrist or whatever it
Mike
was.
Youkilis?
Nope, not on this day.
Jesus Christ.
It's bad.
This is, man.
There's a couple names on here that you're going to hear.
Jeremy Hermida?
Nope. Jeremy Hermida. Okay, I'll give you one. Danny Valencia.
Danny Valencia. Danny Pretty Boy Valencia is what they called him. Okay.
We had
Jared Saltalamacchia.
Yep. He batted 6th that day.
Okay. How many spots do I have left? 6?
Yep.
Jacoby Ellsbury.
Nope.
What?
I wasn't playing. Him and Pedroia weren't playing.
Holy fuck. Who the fuck was the shortstop for the 2000? Was Cody Ross in the lineup?
Cody Ross batting 3rd.
The cheerful Cody Ross.
You know who was playing shortstop. Yeah, at the time, who was considered the throne to shortstop before another...
Jose Iglesias?
Yes. Jose Iglesias batting 9th.
Okay. Who the fuck was playing center field?
I can't... Lynn. How did you say...
Jeremy Lin?
No. How was
Chase Swan Lin.
Choi Swan Lin. That's how you pronounce it. It's been a long time since I heard his name out loud.
Yeah. I didn't realize he went that far back. I thought he was more recent than that.
Yeah, we saw him after that for a bit. And then you had
Chase Swan Lin.
The Red Sox legend Ryan LaVarnway, who's still playing.
Ryan LaVarnway. I actually just talked to him recently.
Is he doing good?
Yeah. I mean, he's like trying to get into the content game now.
Good.
Yeah. I met him for the first time last year when the tribe was in town.
Listen, I was a Ryan LaVarnway guy back in the day. I believed in the hit tool. Unfortunately, not everything works out in life, but
yeah.
He was with the Guardians last year. He spent a little time with them.
Mm-hmm.
Still kicking around. Not bad at age 34.
Yeah. How many spots do I have left? What positions are they?
You're missing left field and you're missing left field and second base. You're gonna hate who you forgot at second base.
It's not Pedroia and it's not Youkilis.
Nope.
And we already said Iglesias was playing short.
It's an all-time Red Sox lore legend. Like when you hear it, you will know.
Second baseman for the Red Sox in 2012.
Initials? You want initials?
Give me first initial.
P.
Oh, Pedro Ciriaco.
Boom.
Yeah.
Batting 290.
Yeah. He was hitting like 377 at one point.
Ridiculous.
Okay, so now I need left field.
Yep.
And it's not Jeremy Hermida.
It is not. Jeremy Hermida, was that 2011? Was that even? Yeah.
Yeah. Ryan Sweeney?
Nope. He was on the 2013 team.
Daniel Nava.
Boom.
Yeah.
That's the whole lineup. I know it's bad. It could be worse.
Let me guess who is pitching.
Oh God, I don't even think I have that in front of me.
Are they good?
It can't be good. This was the last series. I think it was the second to last game of 2012.
Okay.
Let me see.
Yeah, look up that box score.
I remember. I think Jose Iglesias struck out to end the 2012 season, if I recall correctly.
Yeah. Traded for Jake Peavy.
Legend.
Also, Jake knows this because he was sitting there, but I did a hit for MLB Network a couple Saturdays ago, and Jake Peavy was on the desk for MLB Network. And he was like, Jared, man, he's like, next time I'm in Boston, like hit me up. Like we'll get together, we'll hang out and catch up and all this. I met him when I went into MLB Network in April, very briefly.
Okay.
And he probably we notices that we have a bunch of mutual friends. But he's like, yeah, like I'll hit you up. And I was like, yeah, cool. And I looked at my phone. I remembered I had his number years ago. And I don't remember who it was. I just know it was a long time ago. Someone was like, hey, do you want Jake Peavy's number? And I was like, sure. And then they gave it to me. So then I was like, is your number, the last 4 digits of your number still whatever it was? And he was like, yeah, how the fuck do you have my number? I was like, someone randomly just gave it to me out of the clouds. I was like, sure, I'll take it. And I've just obviously never, if someone gives me their number, I'm not just going to reach out. I think someone gave me Trevor Story's number. And I was like, cool, but I'm not just going to text. Like, that would be so, like when people do that to me sometimes, they'll just be like, hey, like, hope you don't mind. So-and-so gave me your number. And I'm like,
no, especially with a guy like Trevor Story, like you're trying to build that relationship. Jake Peavy,
well, I know him so I met Story when he was with the Rockies in 2019, and I interviewed
did the starting 9 interview. I remember that one.
Yes, right? Yeah, and then like I was talking to we had followed each other on Instagram ever since then, and I was talking to him during the offseason when he was a free agent about Boston. And every time like I see him at the field, like we talk, but like I would never just like shoot him a text without him like giving me his number. Like I think that's weird.
But anyways, who started that day? It was
don't tell me.
Shoot.
Is it a guessable name?
Oh yeah. If I was gonna I don't want to give it away, but yes, it's a guessable name.
Lefty?
Yes.
John Lester?
Boom.
Okay.
Now he didn't get the loss. Andrew Miller got the loss at the end of the game. These were the guys you saw. Rich Hill came in, followed up John Lester.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Tazawa, Craig Breslow, Andrew Bailey, Mark Melanson, and then Vicente Padilla.
Why do I not remember Tazawa prior to 13? I thought that like that was his first year.
Well, when Tazawa came up in 2012, that was like the first time we got like it extended, because I remember Tommy John. He had what? Tommy John, was it 2010 or 2011 or whatever it was? And then I remember him being really good in 2012, but he wasn't pitching like consistent leverage. And then he popped in 2013, obviously. But yeah, 143 or 8 in 44 innings in 2012.
Interesting.
Kind of filthy.
Yeah, Tazawa had some big outs in that ALCS. I remember him getting through the middle part of the order with like Miguel Cabrera and Prince Fielder when it's like it's too early to go to Koji. So let's see what Tazawa's got. He had like that filthy splitter, right?
Yeah, I felt like everyone with Tazawa, the thing was his stock was so high when he first joined the organization. Like people thought he was going to be a starting pitcher. Then he never really turned into that. Hey, a setup man, that still has a lot of value. He flamed out like a lot of those guys do after 2 or 3 years.
Yeah. But I mean, if you're going to hit your peak in any year, it might as well be a championship season. So yeah, Tazawa, one of the more unsung heroes of that championship season. Like, I mean, there obviously like David Ortiz gets all the glory because he hit fucking 680 in the World Series, like a 2000 OPS. So yeah, that's kind of deserved. But the road to get there, I don't know how we got on the 2013 World Series champions, but I'm happy to talk about them more than this fucking dog shit series in Toronto.
10 years next year. Cares? 10 years.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Like, yeah, there's still like videos on YouTube from 2013 that I did. And man, I don't I don't think I could go back and like watch those now. All I know is that I said Sox in 6 before the series. And then they just that was the point that they hit on the entire time. They're like, you made a prediction before the series and you said Sox in 6. The Red Sox won last night. Let's talk. I was like, okay. Yeah, that was it.
I'm trying to think. 2013 out of that bullpen, Craig Breslow doesn't get enough love either. He had some really big outings up until I think the World Series was a little rough, if I recall. But I remember him being really good leading up until that point. Then you had Koji, who was just simply God. Like that. That is as dominant as I've probably ever seen a closer on a postseason run before.
I haven't watched the video yet, but Isaac, who does like the iTalk Studios YouTube videos, I saw a thumbnail that was like, I'm paraphrasing, but it was like the best reliever season that no one talks about. And the graphic showed Mariano Rivera and Koji. And I'm like, this better be all about Koji in 2013. Like this whole fucking, and he was even, I don't want to say he was even better in 14, but he was also disgusting in 14, but no one remembers that because they were a last place team. But oh man, I missed that season. That was a fun year because I kind of like walked away. Like I've told that story a bunch of times about like 2012, how I was like, I'm fucking done with this. Like, I don't want to do this anymore for a career. And I was going to join the military, and then I didn't do that. So I was just figuring out my life in 2013. And that was the least amount of content that I've ever done was that season. And I just kind of relearned how I guess, be a fan that year, just not putting so much pressure on like, you need to succeed. Like, you need to make this your job. You need to make this your career, or else you're a failure and all of your life's work is meaningless. Like, that was the first year I was like, I'm just not doing this. Like, I fucking give up. So I'm just going to watch these games as a fan and not like, how can I get more followers this year? And then by default, I'm pretty sure like that was at the time, to that point, like my biggest year on Twitter ever, because of the Red Sox winning the World Series. But it was also the first year that I started tweeting in my own voice. Like every year up until that, I was like tweeting like someone that was in the press box. Like I was being buttoned up, and I never used to swear on Twitter. And then 2013 was like the first year where I was like, all right, if you don't like it, I don't care, because this is not like, I'm not trying to do this for a job anymore. I'm tweeting how I talk now, instead of trying to sound like I'm a beat writer in the press box. I'm tweeting how Jared talks out loud about this team. And then that year, like that was when my Twitter just kind of popped a little bit. But
that's like the bridge you said from when you went in the press box for the first time before that and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But you went from, whatever that may be, traditional journalist, to the fan that connects with the players. And at least in that light, obviously you hadn't got that far along in the journey, but that was the flipping of the switch.
It was the Bill Simmons blueprint. It was I'm a fan of this team that I'm quote unquote covering, and I don't care if you know that about me or not. That was kind of a forbidden thing back then, or at least a little bit prior to that. Like there just was no, like Barstool existed, but it wasn't a career landing spot. It just wasn't. Like the people, like you hear from all the people that worked there back in the day, like Kevin and Feidelberg, like they'll all tell you, like, we didn't know when our next paycheck was coming. Like sometimes we would get paid, sometimes we wouldn't get paid. And that's part of like Feidelberg's story, was he was like, they first started paying me, and Dave was like, I'm not going to fire you, but I can't pay you anymore. And he was like, okay. And he just continued to do the job that he was already doing, but he was just doing it for free instead of getting paid, which obviously he gets paid now. It is, but he hung in there. And for me at the time, like I obviously knew Dave, but I didn't know that I was going to like do that as a career. That's why I like went back to college. I was like, I guess I'm just going to get a real job and keep this a hobby. So that, it was the Wild West. Like that year, that team and the season that they had, and obviously with like the marathon and everything, it was a year that, I mean, obviously they have made movies about it. Like it felt like a movie, like with everything that happened in the city of Boston that year, it felt like a movie, and we've seen movies made about that year. So to kind of like live it out was very, I guess, surreal that year, 2013 in Boston.
Yeah, that was like the year. I think I went to my most Red Sox games ever in 2013. I probably went to like 10 to 12, which for me, someone who is I'm not social. I was also a sophomore in high school at this time. So like I was a young kid. But I was at like the Daniel Nava walk-off game against the Mariners way back with the 6 runs in the bottom of the 9th. I was at the Johnny Gomes walk-off game, but that was the same day Will Myers debuted for the Rays. I think was the first half of that doubleheader. But that season to me, like, I always talk about, obviously 07 is my favorite because it was my first. But 2013 in terms of memory and like remembering so many specific things about the season, I think that one will always be number one in my head. Like, I think about Mike Karp like once a week.
Yeah.
Seriously, Mike Karp was lethal in 2013. Nobody remembers.
Huge home run to dead center in Tampa. I remember that.
Dude, he was crazy. Like, hold up. Let me pull up these stats real quick. I was looking at him like a couple months ago, and I
want to say he hit like 297 that year?
It might have been better, but it was like that good. And I just remember, and he came back in like 2014, and he was horrendous. But that one season of Mike Karp was enough. Hold on, let's go. What was your guess, Jared? 297?
297.
Let's go. Oh my God, you're a sick fuck. 296. You are a sick fuck. 86 games he did that in as well. 885 OPS. Oh my God.
Yeah, Mike Karp, man. He was great. I don't know. Was that home run in the I think it was in the regular season. The one that I'm thinking of that he hit off like the back wall in Tampa. I don't think it was a playoff homer.
I don't think so either. There was a lot of stuff in that season. Like, what was that Middlebrooks 3 home run game early in the year? Right? Was that 2013?
I mean, he really only performed in 2013.
Actually, 2012 is really the upper. That is the prime Will Middlebrooks time before the wrist injury.
I'm talking about Mike Carp.
Oh, sorry, I switched to Middlebrooks for a second. But yeah, Carp was 2013. 2014.
Yeah. Was Carp wasn't on the 12 team, was he? No.
Yeah, he came over in 13.
Yeah. I almost called Will Middlebrooks to be on this show tonight.
Wow. That wouldn't have been
I don't know what his availability is. He's got 2 kids.
And can you imagine trying to tell someone who's been in the booth the last week or so with 2 kids to come and talk after this series? It's kind of cruel.
Plus, it's a football Sunday. I know he's into that sort of thing. The whole football thing.
Yeah.
You're one of those guys. Football.
We don't do that around here.
Nah. Did the Patriots win?
Nope.
Ah.
Shout out Bailey Zappi. A for effort.
Who the fuck is that?
Their 3rd string quarterback.
He played?
Yeah, Brian Hoyer died. What was it? After the first drive, he got a concussion, or second drive, and that was it.
What are they going to do? If your 3rd string quarterback is QB1, what do you do?
You do what they did. They wouldn't trust him to really throw, and they kind of kept running the ball. The fact that it went to overtime was a miracle, to be honest with you.
Did Aaron Rodgers not play?
No, he did. He has pretty bad weapons. Not that he played great, especially early on, but it's not a very good roster. He misses Devontae Adams.
I don't know who that is. I'm happy for the Patriots that they almost won a game. I love that. This feels like a good time to jump into an ad read about
Let's do it.
The NFL. The NFL action is in full swing at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. We're talking touchdowns, big plays, and even bigger wins. New customers can bet just $5 on any NFL team to win and get $200 in free bets if they do. Check this out. In addition to the usual bets, everyone can boost their winnings with the DraftKings stepped up same game parlays. Woo! I do love that. To make things even sweeter, you can throw down on stepped up same game parlays once per game all season long. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Use the promo code Jared, Jared, to get $200 in free bets if your team wins when you place a $5 bet on any football game. That is promo code Jared only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See the show notes for details. Yeah, so I'm gonna try. Actually, you know what? I think I'm on the fucking pregame this week.
You're making another appearance on Nesson?
Yeah.
What led you to this?
My mom. I was shopping on Saturday. I drove to Chestnut Hill.
Okay,
I believe, and I don't even know what mall it was. Is it the Chestnut Hill Mall?
I've been there. My girlfriend's made me go a few times. They have what's that place called? Pepe's. It's a pizza spot up there.
I don't know. All I did was I Googled All Saints near me because that's I wanted a bomber jacket, and I have a couple bomber jackets, and a couple of them are from All Saints. So I was like, all right, put in All Saints near me, and then we ended up at this mall. I didn't know that I was going to a mall. I was like, we could end up anywhere. We ended up at a mall. And my mom texted me. She was like, do you have the Nesson pregame today? And I was like, what? Now I'm freaking out. I was like, am I supposed to be in Watertown right now? What the fuck? And I look at my schedule that I've already sent her, and it says Tuesday. I'm like, why the fuck would you scare me like that? Instead of asking me and make me freak out, why don't you look at the schedule that I sent you? Crazy town.
Jared, let's be a little nice. Ellen has a lot going on. She's very active on social media, very supportive, which I appreciate. Thank you.
No,
but
she can
happen.
Look at the schedule that I sent her instead of giving me a goddamn heart attack in Bloomingdale's.
So what was her reasoning? Did she misread it or did she just misremember
She's like,
it?
I thought it was today. Whoops.
That's
My
like
bad.
the most
Whoopsie.
mom thing ever. Come on.
Whoopsie, my bad. Yeah, Tuesday, October 4th, in studio appearance at Fenway. Approximately 6:15 at Fenway.
A 1 can look like a 4 if you're kind of moving kind of quickly and you're in a rush and you got some other stuff on your mind.
Nope, not close.
Ugh.
Nope. October 4th, in studio appearance at Fenway. Approximately 6:15 p.m. I'll be there. I'll be there for the pregame.
You might
talking
get
Sox versus the Rays, right?
Yeah, you might get Eric Hosmer's one final start of the season. That give you something fun to talk pregame. Come on.
There are a lot of people talking about that right now.
That's what everybody's talking about.
Right. The lines are going to be loaded up at 98.5 The Sports Hub tomorrow morning to be like, listen, I know fucking Mac Jones, I know he was crying, but he still made it to practice. And then, what's his name? Jed Hoyer got lit up on the gridiron. And so now we got to go to fucking, what's his name?
Zapper.
Orlando Cepeda. QB3 is now QB1. And, but listen, Eric Hosmer's last game with the Boston Red Sox, that's what I'm calling about. That's what I'm calling about. Get me on with Beetle and Zoe. Because we got to talk Hosmer.
10 a.m. Come to the station, please. I'd love to start Red Sox tomorrow. We could.
Oh, you know what
them.
I'm not going to do? Go to the fucking station. I hate going there. I hate it. It is the worst commute ever. I will call in. I'll call. You know what? That's what I'm going to do tomorrow. When they open the show to talk Patriots, I'm calling in to talk Hosmer.
Jared, I do answer the phone, so I will push.
Do you really?
Well, not. We have an intern in right now, but when we don't have an intern, it is me who answers. So call in and I'll pick up the line. I'll
call in and talk Hosmer.
Okay, perfect. That's all we need. Listen, our interns aren't the sharpest. I'll be real with you. They lack some of the feel for the show still. They're early on in their journey. So if you call in and even say that, they might put you through themselves.
Good. I mean, I don't know why people like, I feel like if you want to get involved with a show, then you have to have some sort of back knowledge of the show. Like Jake knows the show.
Okay. So shout out my friend Nate. He was the intern that I followed up. I went to Curry with him. New York sports fan, wasn't into anything Boston sports. Not at all. Like super New York, like Mets fan. Like that was his whole angle. He was a baseball nerd. Mm-hmm. He showed up to the sports hub, had no knowledge of anything Boston sports. And he would just like try to get them to talk Jets like every single day. Like that was his one thing he did at the sports hub. Now I followed him up, which made me look really good. It's one of the reasons I actually stuck. But we have kids who show up who they don't really care. They may be into something else. They may be into a sport, some soccer. Like, dude, if you're coming to talk soccer at the sports hub, good luck. It's just not a thing we do. We do like a Revs interview maybe, but especially if it's like Premier League or something, like that, RIP. But that's the intern life. They just show up and hope something happens.
That is crazy though. Like as sort of like a psychological experiment. Why is soccer the most popular sport in the world, but it is the least popular sport in arguably the most important country to play professional sports in?
That's a great question. Did you ever try to get into Liverpool, like as a Red Sox fan?
No. Fuck
I
soccer.
thought about that.
I don't care about soccer at all.
I was like, maybe that could be a cool thing to add to my like portfolio. I could be like a Liverpool guy. And then I realized like I played soccer. I was, back in the day, if you were around Brockton in the outskirts, you might have heard of me. I was on the travel team. I played a little
You might have heard me.
Listen, I played a little goalie back in the day. If I wasn't on the field, if I wasn't catching, I was in the net. I was an athlete. I could block some balls.
Jake, did you play soccer growing up at all?
No, I hate soccer.
Not even like a little kid, Jake, like your parents forced you in.
I mean, I probably kicked the ball around before, but nothing past that.
Right. And that's how it should be. I don't root for the failure of other sports. I don't care if another professional soccer game or match, whatever you want to call it, was never played ever again, I wouldn't care. Would not care.
Same here.
Yeah. I want to see the other sports succeed. Like football, great. That's fun. Hockey, I love it. I love a little distraction from baseball in the off season. Love going to Celtics games. Love going to Bruins games. I don't necessarily love going to Patriots games because I just think that football's better on TV, and getting in and out of Gillette is a nightmare. Like I can get to the Garden and home, and like it's not a big deal. Getting to Gillette, it's a whole day. It is a whole day of my life that I'm just never going to get back, and I just don't particularly care about the result.
I'm super out on hockey. I don't understand the whole blue line, the red line, the green line thing.
What? If I can get it, you can get it.
No, none of that stuff makes any sense to me.
Hockey's fun. Hockey's fun.
Not to me. I've tried to watch it. Like that was one of my goals when I started working on Zolak and Bertrand. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get into hockey. Maybe I can get in on that a little bit. Fuck no. There's nothing there for me. Nothing pulls me in. I watch the Celtics. I like basketball. I'll get into that, during the offseason.
I'm gonna take you to a hockey game.
I don't know.
I'm gonna take you to a hockey game.
What's your hockey name? What is it? Jerry Slapstick? What do they call you?
Jerry Slapshot.
Slapshot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm wearing a hockey.
Two-timer.
Wearing a hockey sweater right now.
Ooh, I didn't know you were that much of a puckhead.
Oh, I mean, once like December rolls around, then don't even get me started on April, May, June. Once it becomes about the cup, buddy, no one wants the cup more than me.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know. Nothing. The guys on the team don't really get me going. I don't know. I wish I could be a Bruins guy. It's just not in me.
Yeah. Never mind.
Oh God. You sure you don't want to share that?
I was just gonna say, like, I still like going to Bruins games. It's just that I think I've said this on the podcast before. I just haven't mentioned his name. There's someone on the Bruins that really doesn't like me, and I totally get it.
All right. Well, we obviously don't want to say their name. Are they a long tenured player?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I don't think so.
Sure.
I don't think they haven't been around that long, but yeah, he don't like me. That's okay.
Lame behavior.
I wouldn't like me.
Do any other Boston athletes on other teams hate you?
Same team, different guy. Yeah, I think there's another guy on the team. Yeah, I don't know if. I don't know. I don't know. That one sticks out the most, though.
You think they like Pete?
I don't know if they know Pete.
Maybe he can branch you.
I'm all set. I kind of like how I think I'm able to enjoy the Celtics and the Bruins more because I don't know any of them. Like it gets complicated when you start to like know guys personally, and it's like then you find yourself having mental breakdowns over Kevin Plawecki when everyone else is like, well, what else were they supposed to do? Of course they were going to move on. They were going to move on at the end of the year. I'd rather be emotionally removed from a team. No, well, from other teams. I'm happy to be emotionally connected to the Red Sox on a personal level. But the other teams, Bruins, Celtics, I don't want to ever know anyone on those teams.
Yeah, I don't know. Stuff like that doesn't bother me. I've tried to become like the Patriots. I'll get a little connected to as the year goes along because I just need something else to get me excited. Like I need some kind of game action after the playoffs end. But yeah, Celtics or Bruins, I could give a fuck less. There's nothing there. If anything, the only reason I'll root for them to keep going is because, that awkward time of the year, like the Celtics going deep into the playoffs this year, it's good for Zolak and Bertrand. We just have shit to talk about instead of like, early season baseball is never going to get a lot of people going, unfortunately, on air. So it's like that's the stuff you kind of cling to. But outside of that, no. Never will be a hockey guy. Never.
Maybe that'll be my off-season persona. I'll just call into Zolak and Bertrand to talk puck.
I'll push you through every time. You could legit say anything to me and I'll think it's a good take.
Yeah. I don't want to call in as me though. Like I just want to be like Jared from Hockeytown, Saugus.
Legit, there's people, a couple of our frequent callers know I'll type in whatever you want into the call box. Like I'll give guys like alter egos and they'll go in like if they're on a special like spot or vacation destination. I don't care. Listen, I'm a very easy guy on the phone lines.
Mm-hmm. Jake, where would you put, like, obviously baseball is your number one and there's not a close second, but where would you rank hockey? Is it number two or do you like basketball more or football? I don't even know.
I like basketball more. I go Celtics number 2, Bruins number 3.
You got Patriots 4.
Yeah, I got Pats 4.
Wow.
Interesting. That's a rare thing.
I still like them, but I just don't have the passion like I do for the other three.
Yeah.
Did you during like the Tom Brady years? Did it like fade, or is it just more one of those things that's never been like your cup of tea?
I just feel like growing up, they won so much that I just was like, they just win, so it's just boring. So I just liked the other teams more.
Yeah. I could see that. And the Celtics and the Bruins win enough to keep you drawn in. It's not like they just suck every year and you're just like, I'm totally checked out on the Bruins. Like the Bruins are always in the conversation for the Stanley Cups, just they don't always win it.
They're just mediocre. Like that's what bothers me. Like they've had a couple deep runs. Don't get me wrong. Obviously they won in 2011, but for the most part, they've been like average.
They should have won in 19.
Of course, but you fumble the bag. But at least, it's been a lot of
and
like
13.
good, not great. Good, not great. I think that's what's kind of like, I don't know. You've had those super highs of the Red Sox. Obviously the Patriots is just like constant winning. Even like the Celtics have had a little bit of that as well. But I don't know. I just, when you're a 162 guy, I feel like it's hard I can't put myself into something else because if I do, I won't have the energy when baseball season comes.
Yeah.
Like, I'm giving everything. It's October 2nd. At least in terms of Red Sox, I'm at the end of the tank. Like I'm dead. Like this is the end. The playoffs are a different thing. That's like fun for me, but I don't know. I can't empty that tank out anywhere else, or I legit might throw myself off a building.
That's probably why Feidelberg's so depressed all the time. He just has no energy left in his life because he gives it all to all four Boston sports teams. Like he's in.
It's crazy.
Celtics, Bruins, Patriots, Red Sox. Feidelberg is all in. I mean, maybe the Red Sox might be a team that he only cares about when they're like really good. But even still, being all in on Patriots, Bruins, and Celtics. Like, I don't even know. I think he would probably rank the... that's the thing. Is like, I don't know how he would rank them. I think it'd be close between the Bruins and Patriots for him. But I think he might go Bruins. I don't know. Now that Tom Brady's not here, I think he might go Bruins, Patriots, Celtics, Red Sox.
Oh,
but he's all in. Like when they're good, he's all in, and that must be exhausting as a Boston sports fan.
I will be the first person to tell you, early in the offseason, I definitely feel like once the winter meetings get there, I have the itch really bad. But like that month in November, I enjoy it. I enjoy like shutting off and like it's like a healing process. It's like you're kind of coming back to being a normal human being. Like right now, I'm not a normal human being. I'm pissed all the time. I'm anxious. I'm annoyed with the Red Sox. My thoughts
all the time.
I'm serious. My thoughts are just going about the offseason one way or the other. Like you get to November and it's just like, it's like a new beginning. It's a new year. I can detach from the pain. Right now, it's just attached to me. I'm just miserable. And I don't I'm not taking care of myself, dude. I'm eating Wendy's 4 or 5 times a week. That doesn't include my McDonald's stops on the way home. That's multiple times a week. Papagino's has a 20% off coupon I've been abusing for a couple months now that they just won't take off the website. It's putting me in danger. Like, I don't know what the fuck they're doing, but the fact that I can get 20% off any Papagino's meal whenever I want, bad. It's really bad. And that, like, the 99's right down the street. During the off season, I stay away from the junk food. But right now, I'm cratering. I am sick. I'm ill.
I have an update.
On?
Will Middlebrooks just responded to the Twitter questions and said, "Good talk. Wasn't I supposed to be on today?" So we're going to call him right now.
Beautiful.
Call him right now. We're going to be like, "Listen, you have the option. You have the option to be sent the link right now. Yes or no? You got to take it."
Yes, sir.
William.
What's up?
So you're on the show right now, but
Hello.
I want to see your face. Right hand to God. I said earlier in the show, I was like, I want to have Will on, and I was going to have Will on this show, but I was like, he's got 2 kids, and it's a football Sunday. I know he's a football guy.
Listen, I have 3 kids, and you're the third.
Thank you. All right. Do you want to? If you want to come on right now, I'll send you the fucking link right now. And you can, like, I want to do the rest of the show with you here, but I didn't want to inconvenience you. I didn't want to put you in a spot where, like, are you a Cowboy fan?
Yeah, that's why I'm in a good mood.
Did they win?
Yeah, they won.
Okay. All right. Do you want to come on then?
tough day for you guys. Well, yeah,
I don't give a shit. I mean, yeah, it's a tough day because the Red Sox got swept and they're the worst fucking team. But I don't care about the Patriots. We were literally just talking about. I don't care.
I'll send you my email. You can send me a link.
All right, done deal. All right, Will Middlebrooks coming right up. All right.
Bye.
What a guy. What a guy.
All right, Will Middlebrooks coming up. I'm excited. I've wanted Will on the fucking show for a long time, but there was the belief that CBS would be like, we don't want him with Barstool, and then this year, I'm like, I don't know. So we're gonna get him on. All right. While we're figuring that out, I gotta tell you about Athletic Greens. Our next partner has a product that I use literally every day, and that's actually true. I even bought accessories to facilitate my AG1 consumption. I started taking AG1 because I wanted better gut health and more energy, and now that I've been on it for a few weeks, I feel great. So what is it? With one delicious scoop of AG1, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you start your day right. This is very tough to read this and send Will an email at the same time. But you know what? We're a professional. We are professionals, and we're going to get it done. Link. Here it is. Link. It's going to say kink.
Oh, God.
Hey, Will, here are my kinks. Here are my kinks. LINK.
He'll get it. You are his third son.
Send. Yep. Here's why I love it. I'm doing 4 podcasts a week, watching every single game, doing the Nesson pregame show. Oh yeah, I need to tell him to use Google Chrome. Okay. It's tiring. Waking up and taking my AG1 gives me the energy that I need to talk on all these subjects and be entertaining and be on my A game every single day. It's got all my vitamins and minerals that I need in an easy scoop, 1 scoop serving. And now that I'm on the road more often, I bring the to-go packs with me. By the way, speaking about being on the road more, Seattle, we've got plans. I use the to-go packs when we're on the road for the early wake-up calls. It costs you less than $3 a day. You're investing in your health, and it's cheaper than your cold brew habit. It supports better sleep quality, which we all could use, and recovery. Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. It's just 1 scoop in a cup of water every single day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/Red Sox. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/Red Sox to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. Beautiful. Will Middlebrooks coming up. Can't wait.
We're going to do some of these questions with him?
Yeah, why not? Do some questions. Do some questions with Will. Talk about his experience in the booth. Toll booth Willie. Am I right? You guys are too young for that. Do you even know what that is?
No.
Jesus Christ. You don't know about Toll Booth Willie?
Toll Booth Willie? No. Who's Toll Booth Willie?
Oh my God. Fucking you.
Just speak to the younger generation for a second.
Toll Booth Willie. I mean, I remember playing in Little League, and that was probably my first introduction. Like, kids would be in the outfield. This had to have been like the 90s. So we're in the outfield just quoting Toll Booth Willie. It was an Adam Sandler bit. It was when he put out like CDs. He put out like comedy CDs, and there would be like bits on there.
Like a mixtape?
Kinda. But yeah. Jesus Christ. You guys don't know what Toll Booth Willie is. I'm going to ask Will when he gets on here if he knows what Toll Booth Willie is. I bet you he'll know. We're like the same age. But he grew up in Texas, so I don't know. They may not have had like the internet.
How dare you? But he kind of did say that him and Michael Wacha had like nothing to do as children.
He did say that?
Yeah, they were like all you could do, like everyone from that town, all you could do is play sports wherever they're from.
Huh. Interesting. Well, we're going to find out when we're joined by Will Middlebrooks coming up. I mean, this dude's definitely Googling. I mean, he's downloading Google Chrome right now. There's no way he has.
First time ever actually, I think, talking to him, besides DMs or whatever.
So you guys sexting?
Oh, yeah, of course. What else would I be doing? Have you seen me?
Yeah.
I'm that kind of guy.
Yeah.
Please, thank you.
Should we start the questions while we wait?
Yeah, let's start.
Let's start the questions. All right. Here's a. I'm just gonna pick them at random. I'm gonna pick them at random. Here it is. All right. Fuck. Here it is. Should the Red Sox have a mascot race at Fenway? If so, who and what should be in it? No.
Hell no. No. Those races, first off, does anybody actually really get excited for them? I feel like they're more popular on social media.
Dallas Braden, because he's high.
That's it. I was about to say.
Yeah. He's on drugs. That's why he gets excited for those. He just texted us right now, Jake. Okay. Okay. The answer is no.
Ballparks that can get fans excited do stuff like that.
Right. When are you coming to Hoboken to Green Rock? I've already been there. When am I coming back? I don't know. Soon? Livy! I fucking love Livy. Livy, she works at Fenway. She's on year 2 of working at Fenway. I just saw her on Tuesday. I need to know y'all's opinion on the superior fall food / drink. I mean, I always, a fall food.
Oh, listen, I am a huge pumpkin pie guy. Like I go to the supermarket once or twice a week. I'll have pumpkin pie for breakfast almost every day once we get to the fall. Just a nice little slice in the morning. You put a little whipped cream on it with a cup of tea. That's all you got to do.
They're not a sponsor. Blue Moon's not a sponsor on this podcast, but obviously shout out Blue Moon. They're number one and they always will be. But I love a good shipyard with the cinnamon rim in the fall. I do. Can't go wrong. That just tastes like fall. And also like, I feel like eggnog is more of a winter thing. But I was in Target yesterday and I saw eggnog and I was by myself out loud. I was just like, fuck yeah. I just got real excited for that eggnog. I love eggnog. I feel like people hate on it. They're like, oh yeah, it's too thick.
Yeah, I tried it for the first time last year and I absolutely hated it. It was way too thick. My sister drinks it nonstop though.
Yeah, eggnog is elite. Favorite interview to date and who's the next big target? Favorite interview? Wow. I feel like I just like default to the Ortiz one all the time. Although I do, the JD Martinez one was pretty cool too. Anyways, what were we saying, Tyler?
My favorite one is probably the John Lester one you guys did because I felt like I got the most out of that one.
Yeah.
Like in terms of stuff of him detailing like free agency and everything like that. I remember I had tweets going for days, but I felt like I actually got some closure finally on his departure from the Red Sox. And I felt like that was something I was never going to get. But with that interview, I feel like I was like, all right, John Lester made me feel loved. And I also could accept why he didn't come back here.
The Pedroia one was also fucking awesome. The Pedroia one, so I obviously had like met Pedroia like here and there. We had like very minimal, like lengthy conversations, but I become like friends with his agents. And I remember they were just like, you know, every time that something happened with Pedroia and I would just like have his back or whatever, when the media or whoever else would not have his back, I would have his back. And they were like, when he retires, you get the first interview. And I was like, fuck yeah, let's go. So he retired. I think it was the day he did the press conference. I think he had just wrapped up the press conference, like retiring, and boom, he's on with us. And I think we went like an hour almost with him, and he crushed it. Like he told like the funniest story. I mean, like, he's got stories for like we could do like another 10 hours with Pedroia and still get a ton of funny stories that no one had ever heard before. But the ones that he did tell were really cool. So I would put those in the same pantheon, like the JD one, which again, I hope to get a part 2 to that before the end of the year. The JD one, the Lester one, the Pedroia one, the Ortiz one. I mean, anytime we get Pedro, it's great. Who's the next big target, though?
Did you see in the subreddit that there were some people hoping for a Nomar interview?
Yeah, I've talked about that a few times. Like, I have ways to contact him, but I just don't do it because I don't think I could handle the rejection if he says no.
I can't picture it, so I don't know Nomar, but it seems like he's the nicest guy in the entire world.
He seems super nice, but how many interviews have you seen him do?
That's a good point. But if there's an interview to do, right? Like, if you're a guy and you're like, listen, I don't feel like telling my story 8,000 ways. Isn't this the platform to do it? Like, if you're gonna be like, I just want to tell it one time, or, answer questions one time, you'd come here. And like, I've thought about that interview, and personally for me, like, I can't speak for Jake. I feel like I'd suck because like I really never got to see Nomar like during the Nomar days.
Mm-hmm.
Listening to how your generation talks about them, he's one of your gods.
Yeah. I mean, I cried when he got traded. And I was like 15, 16. Like, I was too old to be crying about that shit, but I was. I cried. I remember telling my dad that like in the 90s, in the early 2000s, I was a bigger Nomar fan than I was a Red Sox fan. I remember being at Fenway and telling my dad, hey, if Nomar ever leaves the Red Sox, I'm not a Red Sox fan anymore. Like, I said that. Yeah. I was like, if he's gone, I'm gone.
But like, that's the thing. You can post Nomar content today, and like, I'll do it during the offseason or whatever. You see how many people were just like, I fell in love with Nomar because of the, up to the plate, his little ritual with the batting gloves and everything like that. Like,
yeah.
Baseball as a whole, throughout its history, there's not a lot of guys where you say like, this one guy, like, it's not usually a player sport. You may hear that with the NBA or the NFL with like a quarterback or LeBron. Nomar seems like one of those few names where it was like, no, this player was bigger than the team itself.
Yeah, he was. He was like, I mean, he was, it was him and Pedro. And obviously Manny was there too, but the whole Manny being Manny thing didn't really become a thing until like 2004. He was a silent assassin before then. He was just show up, hit homers, and that was it. But then in 2004, that's when he became more of like a wacky character. Like, he wasn't that guy before that. He just wasn't. He was just like the silent assassin, come up, hit homers, and like that was it. So I don't know. I'll try to get Nomar this offseason, but I really want to have Nomar in person. And I want to make sure that if we do it, I want to make sure that we have the time. Like, I don't want it to be like if we got offered Nomar on some like fucking media tour for Flonase, I don't want to do 15 minutes with Nomar. I want to sit down and be like, this is the only stop that you're going to make. Like, you're doing this because you want to do it, and it's going to be like an hour. Because I feel like the way that it ended in Boston, I feel like a lot of people have questions, and I feel like he has a lot to get off his chest that he just never addressed. And he might view it as, I don't have to get that off my chest. It's been so long, and everyone's moved on, and I don't want to say that no one's asking for it, but there's definitely not still like a public outcry of like, hey, Nomar, like, what happened? Like, how did this really go down? And how do you feel about it? Like, he's doing the pre and post for the Dodgers. So I feel like no one, like, it's not like if he were more in like the Boston limelight, maybe there's more of a, hey, what really happened? Like, I want to know what happened. But if he were to ever tell that story, I feel like I could help him paint the picture a little bit, because A, I saw it all. B, I'm on his side. I think there was like what was that? Like ESPN, was it like page 2 or something like that? I forget. Like ESPN used to have like a very famous online column, and you could probably still find it. It's probably archived somewhere, but I believe it was called Page 2 or something like that. And they did a whole fucking thing about just how it really went down. Like the story has been told, but it was told in print, and tone gets lost in that. And it was more of like an investigative thing than like a whole Nomar story / interview. So the Red Sox history needs that piece from him.
It's just like, it's such a weird, I don't know, that conversation, like you said, when a guy post-career, a lot of guys end up coming back here, and I guess you would profile him into that kind of idea, but, you know, obviously he spent a lot of years out in LA and had some nice moments with the Dodgers, family and everything he has going on out there as well. I always think back to that moment when he came back with Oakland, and he had, you know, stepped outside the box, and he's legit, like, you see the tears. Like, you saw the appreciation and the respect. You know, was that to him kind of letting go some of that pain and how everything played out here? Or is that just like, you know, the first step to him, I guess, in terms of that relationship, at least coming back somewhat? But it's been so long. What was that, 2009, 2010? When he came back? Yeah.
09.
So, like, that's 13 years later, and we still really don't have, you know, a lot of answers or background. That's really one of the few parts of Red Sox history that is not really explained, or at least from his angle, I should say.
Yeah, I was there that day. That was the first and only time I've ever been kicked out of Fenway. Yeah.
Kicked out?
Mm-hmm.
What'd you do? Can you not repeat it?
No, I've told the story. It was I was there with one of my buddies from home, and I was 20, and he had just turned 21, I think. And we went up to the beer vendor, and he was packing a lip, and he bought 2 beers for himself because I don't drink at games. And I mean, I couldn't legally then anyway, but he bought 2 beers, and he was packing a lip, and he was like, "Hey, can you hold this for me?" And because he wants to take the lip out and throw it away so he can drink. And so he hands me a beer. Fucking alcohol compliance comes swarming up to me like I had a fucking nuclear warhead. And they're like, "Let me see your ID." I was like, "I'm not 21. I'm just holding it for him." So, "Oh, yeah, you're just holding it for him. Okay. All right. Yeah, pal." He's like, "What's your name? Let me write it down." And then like they walked me out. And even back then, like I knew people with the Red Sox, so they just like walked me right back in. But I did get kicked out for a second for no reason. I didn't do anything.
You didn't put up a fight or anything? You just took it?
No, because I knew that I could just get back in.
Good guy, Jared.
It's me. Matt Olson just hit a home run. Fuck. It was 3-1 Mets. It is now 5-3 Braves. They're going to sweep them.
Don't, please. No. The Mets are arguably, listen, I like the Braves. I enjoyed the playoff run last year. The Mets have probably been one of my favorite stories, if not my favorite story in baseball this year. So to see, and listen, it's not a true collapse. The Braves have been playing ridiculous baseball for months now. But for all the great momentum and how, you know, well this year has gone for them, for it to kind of flip at the last moment here, that's a tough blow. Especially when you had Scherzer and DeGrom lined up like you did. It was like everything was set up for the Mets, and you just haven't been able to get the job done.
No.
It's upsetting.
Truly. Will doesn't know how to work a computer. He said, "Updated Chrome, now it won't load anything on it."
Is this a sign?
Do you want me to have Jake call you? Is this a sign? All right, next question. Will is trying to figure out how to use the internet. Rank the best food or dessert, top 5.
My top 5 favorite foods. I'm not a dessert guy. I really, the only dessert I'll ever have is like a frap or something, like vanilla, because I'm allergic to chocolate and peanut butter.
You're allergic?
Yeah, like deathly.
You're allergic to chocolate
and peanut butter. Yeah, it's a rough living. I know. A Reese's cup will body me. Like if you want to take me out, give me a Reese's cup.
That's literally what I had like a whole bag of those this weekend. That
Well,
sucks.
When Steve was
I would
doing the
start
whole
over.
rally
If
cups.
if I was dealt that hand in life, like, hey, you can't have chocolate, I'd be like, all right, see you later.
Okay,
Try
but
and get
for me-
reincarnated.
Oh, Jesus Christ. But for me, I've never, like, I don't remember. Like, I had a bad allergic reaction when I was really young, and that was it for me. And they, like, did my allergy tests and all that shit. I don't have any memory, so I don't crave it. But I think that's why I'm addicted to fast food. Because that's my form of dessert.
That's your fix.
That's it.
Well, I'm getting a lot of like horror movie questions. I like that. Top 5 horror movies. Maybe I'll do. Maybe, you know what? Actually, I don't know. CM Punk's kind of in hot water these days. I was gonna say, like, maybe I'll hit him up and be like, yeah, let's start this podcast. But I think he's got things going on. I'll wait. I'll wait until he figures this shit out. Best horror movie that you've seen recently that is a must watch. Jake, you saw Smile?
Oh, yes, Jake.
Oh, he took his headphones off because he's talking to Will.
It's okay.
He did. He said he's not going to sleep for a week because he saw it. I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen a movie that creeped me out that bad in a long time.
You saw it?
No. Like, for his reaction. I'm going to go see it this week. The last horror movie that did that to me was Lights Out. Do you remember that from like 4 or 5 years ago?
I haven't seen that either. I got to see that.
That one, and listen, I was one of those kids, like, growing up, I did not like the dark. I was like, that shit would mess with me. If you want to be uncomfortable in the dark all the time, that is the show or the movie to do it, where it's just like, anytime you shut the lights off, you think about it. Like, it'll never escape my mind. I remember driving home with my family that night, and it's just like, it's weird, but if you watch a really good horror movie, it's like a high you get when you drive home that you still feel it. It's like you're almost in the movie a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I would describe it. Like, that movie stuck with me.
Okay. I'll have to check it out then. I feel like the horror movies that I like have to have a tangible threat.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. That's one of those, what are they called? Is it Blumhouse? What is it? Yeah, they make all those, like, not low production, but kind of like cheesy, corny horror movies. I'd kind of profile it right in there.
Got it.
But it was actually scary.
I'm going to see Smile this week.
I will too. We'll have a review.
Yeah, let's do a review. On the podcast. Which would you rather have return to Fenway? Normal ketchup or the Coke bottles?
Oh, fuck the ketchup, dude. The Coke bottles, 1,010%.
I mean, Pete would choose the ketchup. Steve would say the Coke bottles. I personally don't feel strongly about either because I have fucking steak and lobster rolls at Fenway. So I'm not a ketchup guy there.
All right.
But the Coke bottles, I guess I would pick the Coke bottles, but only, like, Steve goes way overboard with it. Like, he's like, bring back the Coke bottles. Come on, man. Fuck, we need the Coke bottles. Like, Steve, who cares? But if you were to have, like, when I like to tweet out when someone hits a home run off of something. Instead of just like over the fence, I like when home runs hit something. Like in Philly and in Denver, it's like home run into the damn trees. And then in Anaheim is home run onto the damn rocks. Like, I like that. Like, home run off the damn Coke bottles. Like, I enjoy that. So I would say the Coke bottles.
It shocks me you're not more passionate about that, Jared, because I feel like that. But, like, really, your era was pre-Coke bottle at the same time, right? So, like, it's not like your whole early upbringing was that way. The reason I love the Coke bottles is they remind me of MVP Baseball 2005. And there was that game mode where you could hit and you would, like, I don't know, it was like industrial or whatever. They had like those little tractors you could nail and like there were things behind the fence you could hit. That's what it reminded me of. Like when you saw Manny Ramirez smack a ball off the Coke bottles or Mike Lowell, like I always think of the 4 home runs in a row against the Yankees. That is like the most aesthetically pleasing version of Fenway I can imagine. Like, I don't think anything will top that. I just don't know why, like, if you're not going to do Coke bottles, why can't you put something else up there?
Like a couple dildos or something?
Fuck, I don't care. Imagine a home run off a dildo. You're telling me that wouldn't get you going a little bit?
Way back.
Please.
Grand slam off the dildo.
That's what the people need. You want to get kids at Fenway Park? That's how you get kids at Fenway Park.
Swing and a drive. way back, 3-run shot off the fucking dildo. The crowd's going wild. Oh my God. The Red Sox take the lead. That'd be great.
Xander fist pumping around first base, looking at the dugout.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. I don't hate that. Are you planning on going to the last 3 games of the season? I guess I'll be there on Tuesday.
It's definitely a no for me. I will be watching, but me and Fenway Park have, funny enough, my girlfriend actually asked if I wanted to go one last time. And I was like, is it worth it? On a really, Wednesday is the only day it could work, and we got to record that day. And I was like, I don't know. I think we'll wait for better vibes in 2020.
Well, I mean, I'll be on the 6,000-mile trek to the Sports Hub on Wednesday, so you got time.
That's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
I might be doing a spring training trip next year. I've been doing some nice thinking about that.
We should do that.
First time.
As a fan of horror movies, have you ever been to Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios? No, but I didn't even know about it until this year because I kept seeing it on TikTok, and I want to go. But I feel like by the time I can go, it'll be November. I think it'll still be open, but it's like, I don't know. Keep seeing really cool TikToks about it, though.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I am a haunted house guy, though, and I will tell you, I used to go to Barrett's all the time. You want to see a dude spit some fucking game when he was in middle school? You drop me off at Barrett's haunted house. Oh, it was a wrap. It was a wrap.
Guys,
look at this fucking guy.
How's
learning how to use the internet.
Listen, I've never used this app. I'm not
Will Middlebrooks, everybody. Yeah. Oh,
this
hell yeah.
This
Will.
is pro.
This guy. Yeah.
All right, first off, we got to check the technical stuff. How's my audio?
You sound great.
We good?
Sound beautiful.
This is I've never used this. This is different.
Yeah, this is the big leagues, dude.
Oh, welcome. Thanks.
Yeah. Welcome to the show, kid.
Yeah, you got to go through like 4 layers of permission. You got to download an all new Safari.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Welcome. Did Jake help you out with that?
Yeah, we're good. We're locked in.
Yeah, Jake's pro. Yeah, Jake's pro. He does.
What's going on? I was just listening to you guys as I was trying to figure everything out. Spilled water everywhere. It was a shit show.
Don't be nervous. Don't be nervous.
I'm so nervous.
You're gonna be great. You're gonna be really good at this.
So how we feeling?
Terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing everything that we can to not talk about that series. Usually, if the Red Sox were good, this would be a time that we would talk about the games and the things that happened and the things they can do to fix.
Wow.
I did, but I don't recall much of anything.
It's not because I don't care. It's because I do care.
Yeah.
That's
you need
why
to protect your peace,
pitch.
King. Protect your peace.
That's it. I got kids to raise. I don't want to take it out on my family.
Right. You need to be mentally all there for the off season too. You know, because you still got to be dad after all
this shirt. I don't care. I am who I am.
I mean, I feel like the weird. I don't think it's a weird thing. The unique thing about Red Sox fans, a lot of them aren't even Patriots fans. Like I know plenty of Red Sox Steeler fans. I know plenty of Red Sox Jets fans. Like
a lot of Red Sox Cowboys fans actually. They all find me on Twitter. They find me on Twitter. There's a lot of them.
Yeah, Dallas Braden, Red Sox and Cowboys.
Yeah. Okay.
He is a Cowboy fan.
I didn't know the whole Red Sox. I don't think he's a Red Sox fan, but it's fine.
No, he loves it. He's a big Red Sox guy.
He loves baseball history, so I give him if you like baseball history, you gotta like the Red Sox.
Yeah, that's just a fact.
Go hand in hand.
I feel like we've been talking about having you on the podcast for like 4 years now.
Easily, yeah. Finally gave in. I went on Good Pillows the other day. So I figured I felt bad. I was like, man, I feel like I'm doing them dirty by not going on theirs first, but.
Yeah. No, like honestly, you could have not told me that and it wouldn't have mattered. Like literally 3 people listen to that and it's like his parents and like he'll listen to it back himself.
Jeez. That's messed up.
It's not, it's just the truth. I mean, like I don't think that if you were to pull those numbers, they would be wildly embarrassing. So any stories that you told on that show, feel free to tell them.
Yeah, I don't think
on here so people actually hear
stories, honestly.
What did he ask you? What he sounds like, all right, well,
So talk about your experience in the broadcast booth. Like it was your first time up there with Eck and OB.
So it was before I went in the booth, and he kind of was like, and I knew I was going in the booth. It was like 4 days before I went to Boston. He's like, so do you know if you're gonna get? I was like, I have no idea, man.
Talk like him.
Like, don't talk about it. And I didn't know if I was
in like the scene. You gotta be like,
all right, well,
I'm not making fun of this man's voice.
Dick.
Why? That's what he sounds like. If you, I want you to paint the picture for me. Like if I'm a consumer of the product,
you're doing a damn good job of it right now. So why don't you interview me as Chris Cotillo?
Okay, I'm going to interview you as Chris Cotillo. Okay, ready?
Okay. Yeah.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
All right. Well, so you just had your first experience in the Nesson booth, and it was you. It was OB. I even saw Carrabis went up there. That must have been a real drag to be in the same booth as him. But anyways, he can't get his IP back. I bet you he wants to still call his podcast Section 10, but he can't. Right. Anyways, so you're up there in the broadcast booth. What was your experience like for the first time being up there?
Right? I can't even answer you there. The fact that you have that down means you have practiced that a lot.
No, I haven't.
Snap out. You use it now.
Now.
I mean, it's called method acting. I feel like either you have it or you don't. It's one of those things that you are born with.
He's a writer. He's not a podcaster. You know, it's like,
no, he's not either. He's not really either. So the last couple of stories that he's broken,
do you guys have
broke
beef
on this? No, I like him. It's just he's a little fuck.
Okay, so it's like it's one of those things you just talk shit to each other because you like each other. It's like a flirting type thing.
Yeah, but no, there's no like attraction.
Got it.
Clearly,
I got it. So how long have you guys been live?
Hour and 15.
Yeah.
What did I miss?
All right, we had technical difficulties. We're back with Will Middlebrooks.
I'm in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Blame my Wi-Fi. We can't have anything nice down here.
Yeah, we can blame it for sure. Are you in like the affected area or no?
No, I'm on the opposite side. So Fort Myers got crushed, right? So I'm on the opposite side of state, like West Palm, Fort Lauderdale area. So we got bad rain, tons of wind, nothing like hurricane. It was like 50 mile per hour winds, which is high, but not taking our house down, you know?
Right.
There was tornadoes.
Yeah, I saw that.
I wasn't here. I was in Boston when it was going down. And like Jenny was texting me like, oh yeah, it's windy, this and that. And then like went silent for like 45 minutes. And I was in the middle of the game. So I was like, yeah, whatever. She's probably putting the kids down. Didn't hear back till like 11. She's like, we've been hiding in the bathroom. There's like 4 tornadoes within 10 miles of our house.
Jesus.
Like, thanks for not telling me that while I'm on air.
Yeah.
She's a gamer. She got it. She knew what was going on. It was like it was a night you were there. It was the second night.
Tuesday.
Was it? Yeah, Tuesday.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah.
That's wild.
That was fun. You had fun. You were a little timid at first, right?
A little bit. I settled in
because it was more just you were like, holy shit, this is really cool. And like all of a sudden you were like 12 years old.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's how I was my first night. I was like, there's Dennis Eckersley. Like
that's what did
really
it. It was less the view. Like I've been in the press box before. Like I've sat up there. It wasn't the view. It was putting on a headset and part of it, sitting next to Dennis Eckersley. That was
like I didn't watch Eck play. Like I was born in 88, right? So like I don't remember him playing. I remember him as doing the broadcast and like listening to him do playoff games for like, was it TBS? I don't remember. I remember listening to him do like other games and like, but you talk to him like when I would go to do pre and post at the Nesson studio in Watertown, he would just be hanging out. Like when they would do some of the away games, he would do it from the booth there. Like he wouldn't travel and he would just come hang out with us before the game. And he's like that all the time. Like I don't think he can turn it off, which feels like torture. Which
is why I don't think he's done. I think he'll come back in some capacity. I think what could happen is he might come back for like a couple games. Like I don't think he can shut it off. He loves baseball that much.
He does. He's not like robotic about it. He's just like, I don't even know how to explain it. He's a special breed of human being. And it's like, he wakes up and it's like baseball. Like he even said it, like I open my eyes and all I think about is baseball.
Same.
I don't want that ever.
You don't want that?
I don't want it, but I'm saying that because I have it, and it's a lot sometimes.
I feel like
It's
once your kids get to a
help.
certain
Like,
age,
I have an almost 3 and an almost 4-year-old, so
Yeah.
it's like I can turn it off and on, but it's on more than it's off.
right?
You know?
Yeah, I feel it, but with you, and we kind of talked about this too. With you, how long after your injury did it take you to come back to baseball? Because I'm sure,
A while.
yeah, like there has to be a bitterness there where it's like,
I hate
fuck,
it.
like I
Yep.
was a top prospect. I came up, I mashed, and I did not get to go out on my terms. Like an injury is what ended my career. It wasn't poor performance. It wasn't, I got designated for assignment and the team didn't, my phone didn't ring. You got carted off the field and that was it. Like there has to be an area of bitterness.
All the other shit happened too. I just kept coming back.
Yeah, right. Like your phone, but that's the thing is like your phone kept ringing. So
Like, I couldn't give it up because I would like sign a minor league deal and then every year I'd make my way back to the big leagues because I knew I had it. I couldn't stay healthy, man. Like
Mhm.
it sucked. Like it started breaking my wrist in Cleveland in 2012 and it's like ripped my hamstring off the bone. It's like herniated disc in your back, broken fit. Like it just goes on and on and on. It's like one thing would happen. I'd grind my way back for like 2 months, get back, bang for like 3 weeks, and bam, something else would happen. It's so frustrating. It's like mentally more than physically. But
so then what brought you back? Like what day? Like you don't just wake up one day and say, you know what? I love baseball again.
No, I didn't. I needed a job. I needed a paycheck.
Right.
Honestly, like I didn't go to college. Like I'm not good at anything else.
Yeah. No one's ever
Like, and I
accused
don't
you of
want
being
to put
smart.
in, and I didn't want to put in the time and effort to like start something new. I had a newborn. Maddie was born October 10th, 2018. I retired. I got hurt in February of 2018. So I was still in like the rehab process when we had Maddie. Retired in January of 19. She's 3 months old. And then I would just went into like mourning. It felt like mourning. I felt like I died. Right.
A-Rod actually said
because
that.
it's baseball.
Yeah, I don't know I don't know how you feel about Alex Rodriguez, but when I interviewed him, he said like professional athletes have like 2 deaths, like when you actually die and when you have to like walk away from the game that you're playing.
It's different when you retire with 696 home runs.
Yeah, for sure.
I had 40 fucking 3. Okay.
Yeah. I love that you know the number.
And I remember every single one of them, by the way.
Right.
But back to the original question. I sat around for like 3 months, just like eating, drinking. I got pretty fat.
Did you? You're allowed though.
I played at like 220 and I was like every bit of 255.
Ooh. For how tall are you? Like 6'3"?
So I carry it well. I'm 6'4". So I was still in my normal clothes, but they were snug.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking like, all right, like I got to get in shape because I don't want to buy new clothes because I'm not making any money.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So first it was just like, all right, I'm gonna get off my ass and get in shape. And then it was like Jenny so she works for CBS
Mhm.
and CBS Sports HQ has a place here in Fort Lauderdale. That's why we live here. So she can do that in the off season. And she's like, oh, hey, by the way, this is like 3 months in of me just being a piece of shit on the couch for a few months. And she's like, by the way, you got a show tomorrow. Here's your 4 topics. But go get a haircut. You look like shit. Just you can wear jeans here, put a jacket on, like iron your shirt, just look the part. I'm like, all right, fine. First off, I said, no, absolutely not. Like, I'm not ready to talk about baseball. I haven't watched a pitch this season. I have no idea what's going on. She goes, well, you know how to research, right? And I was like, okay, I got it. All right, I'm gonna get to work. So tough love, but it's what helps me kick it in gear. And so I went and did this. It wasn't even an audition. It was a live show. Actually, no, they let me tape it. It was like an hour before the live show. They let me tape it because I literally have never done it before. It went decent. I got enough. They did. So they have David Sampson and Jim Bowden were like their baseball guys.
Mhm.
David Sampson was the president of the Marlins for a while.
Yeah.
Before Jeter and all them. Yeah.
Yeah. He had
And
Jose.
Jim Bowden, ex-executive, like front office GM. But they didn't have an ex-player. So like, we need you. Come on. Like you can just learn as you go. It took me, that was June of 19. I did that whole season and I was still like, it's a paycheck. I don't love it. And then the next season, 2020, COVID happened in spring training, and I was like, I was okay with it. Like it was a job. It felt like a job. I didn't enjoy it. 2021, last season, fell in love with it again. I don't know what it was. I think I was just far enough removed from like the bad taste in my mouth about how it ended and my career and this and that I had liked. But I didn't feel like I fully turned the page till this year. I think it was the NESN thing and being back in Boston and fully realizing that I'm not a player anymore. It kind of kicked in this year. So I feel like I fully turned the page this year, and I'm all in on, I cross over to the dark side, to the media.
We interrupt this interview with Will Middlebrooks to tell you about our good friends over at Game Time. I want to talk to you about Game Time, the app, because October baseball is here. The crowds are buzzing, and thanks to Game Time, it's easier than ever to be there in person. We've got big plans for this October. I've been in touch with the folks over in Seattle. I'm like, hey, we're going to be there. Atlanta, they just won again tonight. They're probably going to win the NL East. Guess where I want to be come October? Atlanta. Guess how I'm going to do it? With Game Time. I don't want to bug people in these organizations and be like, hey, can you hook me up with tickets? Can you hook me up with tickets? Why do that when I can just go on the Game Time app and see that they have some of the best ticket prices in the game today? And especially, it's perfect time for Game Time to hop on with us because the postseason is here and you want to see the greatest action that Major League Baseball has to offer. Game Time is the fastest growing ticketing app that guarantees you the lowest price on tickets to all your favorite sports, concerts, and shows. You can see the view from your seat in the app, which I love. I mean, there's other ticketing places where I'm just like, this sounds cool. That's a great overhead map of where the seat might be, but where's the stage? Where's my actual view? Well, guess what? With the Game Time app, you can actually see the view from your seat in the app, which is awesome. And checkout, it takes less than 30 seconds. And I love that. Get me in and out quick. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and redeem the promo code Jared, Jared, for $20 off your first purchase. What a deal. Especially for the playoffs. Again, that is promo code Jared, Jared, for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Download Game Time. Last minute tickets. Lowest prices guaranteed. Now back to Will Middlebrooks. It's different now, though. Like in terms of when you played, it was probably, it wasn't exactly terrible, but it definitely wasn't what it is now. But it was removed from how bad it was in like the 90s. Like the 90s, it was real bad. And then when you played, it was still kind of shitty, but it was getting there. And now we're in a completely different place.
The media?
Yeah, the media.
Yeah, I feel like the whole world is just softer now. So I feel like they're not going to crush guys as much as they used to because they feel bad about it now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or they have to answer to people being like, don't be mean to them.
Mm-hmm. Now it's cyberbullying.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, that's a real thing. I'm not going to make fun of that, but
I mean, I cyberbully Roger Maris Jr. all the time.
It's a soft society. I mean, there's no way around it.
Yeah.
And it goes to sports too. You look at like youth sports, like participation trophies and this, and like just you can't coach kids, even in high school. Like my dad just retired. He was a high school football coach for 40 years in East Texas. It's like, Friday Night Lights, Varsity Blue, like that was my life for as long as I can remember. I grew up at the field house with my dad. Mm-hmm. He was an athletic director or like a OC or a head coach for my entire life. When I got to high school, he switched to coach defense. So people didn't think, oh, quarterback, because your dad's a coach. So he switched to defense when I was in high school. But yeah, man, he was just saying like, you can't coach kids anymore. You can't be hard on kids. You can't give them tough love. Like all the things that used to make us better when we were in high school, kids cry and go home and quit. Yeah. And their parents are like suing the school.
My dad said that when he played high school football, that the coach used to take the yellow wiffle ball bat and he would whack them on the back of their calves. Like if they didn't like run hard enough, he'd whack their calves with a plastic bat or if they were wearing helmets, he would just fucking whack them on the top of the head. And I'm like, yeah, that definitely would not fly today. Like, you definitely can't do that now.
That was Massachusetts. Can you imagine how
Texas
was?
Yeah,
They
the
used
good
to
old
just fall
boy
and,
down
like, light us
Texas.
on fire.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a different ball game down there. But I think one of the things that I didn't know until this year was that you basically grew up with half the fucking Red Sox right now. Like you grew up with Story, you grew up with Wacha. I mean, like what my claim to fame was, I was like, yeah, like my competition when I grew up, the Saugus team, they went and played in the Little League World Series. They were second in the country and fourth in the world. And you're like, yeah, cool. Like all the people that I played against who are like actual like Major League Baseball players, and they're all like really good too. Like that's sick.
Hey, it's a hotbed for athletes just because there's nothing else to do.
And you guys are
It's
just
either
huge. Like if you grew up, put it this way, Will, if you grew up in Boston, you'd be 5'10" like me. And that's fucked up. And I don't know what's in the water in this city, but everyone is very average height. And then down in Texas, everyone is just born and they're like 6'4" to 6'6", and they can all throw 95 by middle school. I don't know
And
what
run
it
a
is about
4.4.
Texas. It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, that would make sense. Maybe it's the Republic of Texas, its own country. They probably have their own water system. I don't know.
Definitely. There's something in the water there where what if you were 6'4", like what did you have like a growth spurt after, or were you 6'4" in high school?
No, I wasn't. I think I was 6'2" when I got drafted, and I grew a little bit because I was drafted as a pitcher / shortstop because I was going to pitch, but I tore my labrum. I was going to pitch.
How hard
I
could
was
you
like
throw?
90. I was like 94, 97.
What? In high school?
Yeah. Yeah. I was like 90. I'm consistently at 94.
No.
That's probably the jugs gun, though. The old jugs gun that gave you a couple extra miles an hour.
Yeah.
But I do gas. I told this story on air the other night during the Sox game. I taught Michael Wacha his changeup in high school.
Really?
Yeah.
And that's like his bread and butter pitch.
That's his best pitch. So
Yeah.
and I've been saving that. And so I knew eventually I was going to get a chance in the booth. And I was just fucking praying that it was when Wacha was pitching, because I was like, I had this in my back pocket.
Right.
So I brought his dad in the booth as like a witness, because he was there. He was my coach. In American Legion.
What was his name? Tom?
Michael Wacha's dad, Tom Wacha, was our head coach. And he was there for this. So we have this old legendary coach named Paul Phillips from Hooks, Texas, home of Billy Sims. He won a Heisman at OU back in the day. And Paul Phillips was a good pitcher back in the day. Showed me this changeup, like, all right, regular like circle changeup. Wasn't planning this. It was just on my desk. Circle change, right?
Here's how
But
just funny. There's a baseball here. I'm showing you the changeup that I
just in
taught to
my
Michael
hand.
Wacha.
I actually just sleep with this.
Yeah.
But he taught me to like circle change, regular grip, but like drop your pinky all the way to the bottom. So when you throw it, you don't have to like really turn it over. It just automatically comes out the side
Okay.
and creates that like run sink. And he taught it to me when I was in high school. And then because I only do like fastball, breaking ball, I didn't have to throw more than that because I threw gas and nobody could touch it. This was like Texarkana, Texas. Kids weren't going to play travel ball and seeing 90 plus. If you throw 90 plus, they weren't going to sniff it.
Right.
I threw like 4 breaking balls a game. I just threw gas. And I learned this changeup once I got a summer ball when I was facing better teams that could hit. And Wacha was just tall. He was 2 years younger. He was a sophomore when I was a senior. And he was a good pitcher. He just didn't throw hard. He's like 85, 84, 85. But he was like 6'2", 6'3", tall. You could tell he was going to grow. His dad's massive too.
Yeah.
And so I taught him the changeup. And it worked. Like day one, his bullpen, he was like, boom, like it looked good. So he started using it, pitching really well. So Texas A&M was there scouting me because I was going to Texas A&M, and they saw him, ended up following him throughout the rest of his high school career. He went to Texas A&M, grew like 3 or 4 more inches. I look up in the College World Series, he's pumping 98 with that string, right? On, changeup. And yeah, that's my claim to fame right there. Not that I took Mariano Rivera deep, that I taught Michael Wacha his changeup.
Yeah. You were almost an Aggie?
Yeah, I was going to try to do dual sports.
Damn. Well, I'll tell you right now, boy, them Aggie girls, woo! God damn. Hey,
No.
that's a little something right there. You don't know nothing about that, Tyler.
The further removed I am from Texas, that place is a cult.
Oh my God. The ring ceremony that they do?
Never trust a school that has all male cheerleaders. That's all I'm going to say.
Did they really?
They don't have girl cheerleaders, man.
Why?
Not
They
one.
only have the yell leaders that are like doing that weird shit out there, the midnight yell and all that.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Look it up.
They do like some
creepy.
sort of weird ring ceremony where they put they all
Sounds
have
like a
like their
rush.
ring. They still wear them. They wear their like class rings.
Yeah, the Aggie ring. It's like supposedly if you have an Aggie ring, you can get like any job you want.
Really?
That's the story. That's the myth. I don't know if it's true or not.
Interesting. Yeah. That's I've had a couple run-ins with them in my day, and they're a different breed. They're just a different breed, man. It is what it is. So you were basically like Jenny was like, you need a fucking job. You know baseball. That's all you know. So we're gonna get you this job. You started doing the podcast. You're doing these hits on CBS, and then this year, Nesson was like, let's put a suit on you. We'll do pre and post. How? Because I didn't know that you were doing the booth until they told me that I was doing the booth. And I was like, who am I going to be with? And they're like, it's going to be you, Eck, OB, and Middlebrooks. And I was like, Will's going to be up there? And they're like, yeah. I was like, okay. So why? I mean, it's like the second to last homestand of the season. Like, how did that come about?
When did you find out?
I might have found out before you. I don't know.
I found out my last trip doing pre and post. It wasn't that far. It was like 2 weeks before.
Maybe I honestly, the last time that I saw you in person, I think I knew.
Why didn't you tell me?
Because they were like, well, it's not out there yet, so like you can't say anything.
They
I was like,
told
all right, I
you
won't.
before me.
I don't know what the timing was. Maybe because I can't remember what game that was.
No,
Who were
no,
they
no,
playing
no.
that day?
When I saw you, the first time I saw you after I knew, I told you. So you definitely.
So maybe
knew
I just
before
played
me.
it. Maybe I just played it cool, and I was like, "Wow, that's crazy!
Wow.
Congrats!"
Wow. I mean, thanks, I guess. But it's fine.
The timing of events, I'm not exactly sure.
Look,
But there's a chance. There's a chance that I knew.
And your timeline goes way further back with the Red Sox. Mine goes to 2007. You go deeper than that.
A little bit deeper. And also, if someone tells me something and they say not to repeat it, then that's how I say, well, if you want me to tell you this information, then now what I'm telling you is that you can't trust me with any information that you want to give to me.
That's fair.
So
I'm
I'm just proving to be trustworthy to everybody.
You're loyal, is what you're saying.
I'm a loyal guy.
All right.
To a fault sometimes.
Good to know.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes it's definitely to a fault.
Tyler, you
But
live,
you get
man?
told
I'm
You
here.
haven't
I'm
said
letting
a
Jared do
word.
his thing.
he's observing.
Wow. I'm
I
observing.
couldn't. There was a glare on your glass. I thought you were sleeping.
No, I'm alive. I'm here. I'm taking in the journey of Will Middlebrooks.
The journey, man. I don't know about that.
Listen, as a prospect kind of follower as I am, I have some embarrassing tweets. I've talked about it on the podcast of that 2012 season when we didn't have much going on. I was a very big Will Middlebrooks guy. Down until you broke your wrist at the end of the year, and then there was
So you weren't a
absolutely
fan
nothing
of
to
me
watch
when I
for.
broke my wrist. I appreciate that, man.
I listen. I was upset. I was like, "There's really nothing else to watch for this entire season."
Yeah, that was like.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna look up
August.
right now. We're gonna do a little segment called "What are your old Will Middlebrooks tweets?" And I'm gonna look up what
Oh
my
my god, they're not. They might not even be on Twitter. They're on Facebook. Someone
Jesus.
pulled one of my memories, and it was the grand slam you hit, Will, your rookie year.
My first career homer.
Yeah, and I had screenshot of the swing, and I was like, future third baseman with like a heart, and I was like, Jesus Christ, man! I was like, this is some of the most cringy shit you could imagine.
I'm gonna go
Is that
all
it
the way
right
back.
there?
That's it.
Okay, Jesus. Some of those calls, like the Dawn calls and everything,
Dude.
I've posted those on my Twitter multiple times.
I got good memorabilia in here. So I got like, all right, I got the homer ball. And I know that this was, and I got it back because it went into that parking lot on
Across
top
the
of the
street.
building, like on top of, not Cask, but like back there where Cask and everything is, just to the right of it. There's like right behind the light structure, there's a big parking lot across the street on top of the buildings. But yeah, I got this. I got like the bat. So I have the bat for my first career hit, and I have the bat for my last career hit. Kind of cool.
You came up to your walk-up music was dubstep at one point. I thought it was Texas. I know it was Texas Flood.
For a while, but
you came up to dubstep. So this is August 6th, 2012. I tweeted, "There's a Guido sitting in front of me, and the only time he looks up from his phone is when Will Middlebrooks comes up to dubstep. Can I hit him?"
I was a really confused young person, man. I went from like
Hey,
Stevie Ray Vaughan.
I like a
and the
good
blues
like
to,
Skrillex.
That was the era for it, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I mixed it up. It was one of those things. I was like, man, I'm swinging the bat like shit. I got to go polar opposite and switch it up.
No, there's nothing wrong with Will Middlebrooks coming to the plate to Skrillex in 2012. Like that's probably like when everyone had their Skrillex.
Yes, that's what it was. Yeah, good call. What? Okay, I want to know, you guys, if you could pick a walkout song right now, what would it be?
Oh,
it's tough.
So it is tough only because like, so I've mentioned this before. In 2000, it was the day that I met you. I think it was at. Why is there an echo? Who's got the echo?
I don't hear an echo.
It's probably just someone's headphones too close to the mic.
Okay. I think it was the day that I met you. It was John Lester's charity event in 2014. And it was also the same. No, it was at the House of Blues.
Okay, yeah. I was thinking about the second one. Okay.
Yeah. So it was the first day that I met Brock. And I go up to him and I was like, how do we get your walk-up song to be Brock Lesnar's entrance theme? And he was like, as cool as it would be, he's like, I come up to country because I like to be calm and relaxed
Johnson,
and like
Dance
think
Me
of home.
Is what it was.
Yeah. Yeah. So he's like, I like to think of that when... Do you have headphones in, Will?
No.
Yeah, you need headphones. I'm hearing the fucking echo. Do you have like AirPods?
Yeah, hold on.
All right.
It makes me a little sad he doesn't have any number 64s on the back there. Little bit.
I probably have that somewhere.
I do.
The jersey?
I have 2 or 3 of them. I got the 64 and then switched to 16 right after the rookie season. Success.
Say something.
Test.
Yeah, I got you.
Beautiful. June 25th, 2012. The day after the Red Sox shipped Kevin Youkilis to the White Sox, MLB names Will Middlebrooks the AL Player of the Week.
Oh.
Okay. They give us watches for that. Did you know that?
What kind of watch?
Hold on.
He's got everything ready.
He's got his AL Player of the Week watch from June of 2012.
There was a second one at some point, unless I stole somebody's. You can't really see them very well.
What company is it? I mean, they look nice.
They're not. They're not.
Does it like does it have like any sort of marking to say like AL Player of the Week on it or no?
No, it just says it has like the American League logo in the middle of it.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, they're not like watches you would like wear. They're dusty as shit, though. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a video so you can see it.
Trying to find the second AL Player of the Week. I'm only getting that 1 week in June.
Yeah, I definitely have two. I don't think I would have stolen somebody's, but there were some dark years in there.
I forgot that there was like a competition with Youkilis when you first came up.
Yeah, well, I came up because he was hurt.
Yeah. May 31st, 2012, I blogged Youkilis and Middlebrooks homer in the same game. Now what? Ooh, drama. A lot of drama.
Was it weird, Will? Like that? It's always like the relationship that gets talked about during that time is like the Bobby Valentine, Kevin Youkilis, like disconnect, never really liked each other. Like, did that impact how you were with Uke, or was that more just like You know, you were a
No,
rookie at the time. You only have so much pull in the clubhouse.
Yeah, I didn't have any pull in the clubhouse, especially that one. I mean, when I came up, I was the only guy that hadn't been to arbitration yet. Like it was all like Beckett, Adrian Gonzalez, Carl Crawford, Mike Youkilis, who was probably one of my favorite teammates of all time. But
Those Cavs.
oh my god,
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Thank you.
Yeah.
I forgot.
He had
was-
like Hulk Hogan's arms surgically attached to his legs. It was crazy.
It was nuts, and they were like veiny too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Youkilis was great to me. It was never weird between us because he knew I was just there to play ball. Like I wasn't like I'm here to take your job. Like I never looked at it like that. I looked at it like whoever's playing better is going to play. You could play first. It might be there were rumblings not that long after I got there of Adrian being traded, and if that was the case, I knew you could play first or I could play first, whatever they wanted. But I didn't think about it. I was 23 and just like flying by the seat of my pants every single day. Like it was survival mode, honestly. And I mean, you took me and bought me my first couple suits in the big leagues. We were in Chicago and he took me to, he texted me and he was like, hey, meet me in the lobby in 20 minutes. And I was like, where are we going? He goes, don't worry about it. Just meet me down here in 20 minutes. Okay. Yes, sir. So I went to the lobby and we walked to Nordstrom's in Chicago and he was like, let's get you a couple of nice suits. And he got me and they measured me up and, so to fit me. And then they mailed them to Fenway like a couple of weeks later. But yeah, he bought me my first suits in the big leagues. He always treated me great. Regardless, like he didn't have to because of the situation. Like he's human. Any human being could have just been like, yeah, screw this kid. Like he's ruining my life. Right. I mean, seriously, like that, it made it tough on him because I was playing well. It wasn't just like, oh, you're back from being hurt. Here's your job. You're back. And then you can just play ball and not worry about it. Well, there was another layer to that now that made it a little worse for him. And then he got dealt. So he didn't have to treat me well and he did. So I'll always have so much respect for him.
I was reading the Bogart story that came out in the Globe the other day, and they told the same story of when he came up. Pedroia went and sent someone to his room to get 2 of the suits done. They're like, that was the way veterans brought in rookies at the time, at least there. Yeah, I don't know if that's other places or what.
Like he kind of owed me a little bit. Like he could have done that for me, maybe like the really nice, sick, fitted suit. He took me to TJ Maxx and got me. He took me to Nordstrom's, but it was nice. I still have the jacket. I still wear the jacket all the time. It's just like a dark gray, regular blazer you can wear with everything. And I still wear it. I've worn it on Nesson this year, multiple times. And, but I was just like, man, he took me to Nordstrom's and the people were coming to Bogey's room and custom fitting him to the T. But I was never one to complain. And like I said, I grew up humble beginnings in East Texas and Nordstrom's was Gucci for me.
Yeah, top notch.
Yeah.
In your opinion, how much of the Youkilis trade do you think had to do with you bursting onto the scenes or his relationship with Bobby Valentine at that point?
I think it had more to do with me. I don't know his contract situation at that time either.
He was a free agent at the end of the year, I believe.
So I think me, and then I think they were kind of investing in me at that point because I'd come up in 75 games.
It was also
it kind
early.
of showed.
Yeah.
What was that?
It was also early. It wasn't a trade. Well,
there was all the Bobby
move.
V stuff, but they knew Bobby wasn't going to be there the next year.
I think they had to, they did fire him. He was under contract for the next year.
Yeah, but they knew they were going to fire him at that point, I feel like.
Yeah. It was a disaster.
Was it Lucchino that wanted him? Was he a Lucchino guy?
Yeah.
And so maybe they weren't there yet. Maybe they're still working through that. Like I said, I have no idea. I was a kid, just trying to live. But I don't know. Maybe. I mean, it had something to do with how well I played. Obviously, the trade deadline
was definitely a factor
for sure. And I mean, up until when I broke my wrist, I was playing pretty well. So what did they get for you? I don't even remember.
It was 2 relievers that were both fucking terrible. Oh my God. I only remember this.
Was one of them
because-
Hembry?
No.
Mm-mm.
I don't remember. It's all running together.
Oh, God. Okay. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Give me the first initial.
There's two players. One was a utility infielder and one was a pitcher.
Okay, give me the initials.
BL, which in ZS.
Zach.
Zach Scott.
First names, right?
Zach Segovia.
No. Oh, what the
Generic.
fuck?
Generic ass name.
One of them was a utility player?
Yeah.
What was the first one?
The
BL?
BL. Brent
Brent
Lillibridge.
Okay.
Oh,
You remember him?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Zach
Stewart.
Stewart. Yeah. Yeah.
Dang. I kind of feel
Zach
bad.
Stewart. On May 25th. Wait, go ahead.
No, it's yours more important. Go.
It's not.
I have nothing. Go.
On May 25th, I blogged, the Red Sox need to start Will Middlebrooks in the outfield. Why did I write that? Was that even
What was the
considered?
date?
May 25th, 2012.
That's just because Uke was back. May 25th. Yeah, because that was like 3 weeks after I came up, because I came up May 2nd. So that would be like a 3-week stint on the IL, GL, whatever it was back then.
Mhm.
Yeah, so Uke probably just came back. Adrian Gonzalez is there. So you're like, give me Uke back, get this kid out. I must have had a bad game or something. So you were like ready to get rid of me. What was our outfield? Ryan Sweeney?
Yeah,
Ellsbury?
that name came up earlier.
Do you know I have a baseball card out there and it's Ryan Sweeney on the card and not me?
With your name on it?
Swear to God. Yeah, I have to dig it up. It's somewhere. I try to keep like every card that I can find that's ever been made, and just to have like an album of them. I don't know. Kind of cool. But
I have a Pedroia rookie card that's not Pedroia.
how do you mess that up?
I have no idea.
How many
think
5'2" players are there on the field?
It might have been like Adam Stern or something. I don't know.
Pedroia was a tough guy to mess up in 06. No offense.
Yeah,
he was a little thick back in those days for a guy his size.
Yeah, he was, but he was. Yeah, but how do you mess it up? Because like, wow, is he 12 or is he like 60? Like he's little, but he's balding, and it's like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, but I definitely have a picture of like it's not even just like his face doing something. It's a full-on left-handed swing. It's a left-handed batter, and they think it's me. And Topps printed it. Topps.
That's tough.
Supposed to be the king.
That's tough.
Yeah.
On May 15th, it says Red Sox will demote Middlebrooks when Youkilis returns. That obviously changed.
Foreshadowing. They eventually did.
Yeah.
The next year.
On May 13th, I tweeted, just a thought, but don't you think it's time the Red Sox give Will Middlebrooks a real number? I mean, come on.
64, baby. Pedroia wore that his rookie year, too.
I remember that. Yeah, 64 was like the rookie number that they just gave out. They would like give out 64 would be like
that? No, he's 66.
Wasn't like Michael Bowden 64?
Yeah, somebody
Or Masterson? Who else?
No, it was
Masterson.
Bowden. Yeah. Bowden and I have the same birthday, actually. Random.
Michael Bowden. That is a person I haven't thought of in a long time.
I'm trying to think of other 64s. Webster. What's his
Alan
name?
Webster.
Oh, Alan
Alan Webster wore 64.
Mhm. Yeah, that was just
I don't
like
know.
the here you go, kid number. That's why you deserved a
Was
better
it?
number. Yeah.
I was like a prospect, though.
That's why I said get the fucking kid a real number.
Yeah, but like that was still the era of like you're coming onto like a big club and you got to earn your number.
Yeah, I mean,
A lot of
Bogey
teams
came up
don't
with
do that
72.
anymore. Yeah. Yeah.
I think the last 64 was like Marcus Walden, I'm pretty sure, on the Red Sox.
Yeah.
Wasn't
Marcus
Like,
Walden. Well, okay.
Yeah, 44, they used to just throw it at a bunch of people too.
And now you got guys like Gunnar Henderson coming up, getting number 2 out of the chute.
Yeah, that's...
Hey, he's good, by the way.
He's
He's gonna
good.
be,
terrifying.
that home run he hit to center field the other night, that's a bomb.
Yeah.
Like, when you hit bombs to center at Fenway, it's like it hits a wall at some point and just goes into like the first, like row 1 through 3. It never goes past 3 unless you are like a grown ass man. And that was like 9 rows deep. I almost got to the back wall. I don't want to turn this into a Baltimore Orioles podcast, but
May 7th, 2012. Breaking news. Will Middlebrooks is for real.
I remember that. I remember that game. I can tell you exactly what happened that game.
You hit a 2-run shot.
I
Yeah.
hit 2 home runs that day. That was game 1 in Kansas City. First at bat, I hit a home run dead right field, just missed the right field foul pole. Second or third at bat, I hit a laser beam off the 400 sign in dead center for a double, almost a homer to center. And then I eventually took the lefty, who's the little lefty Tim Collins, who used to throw like fuel. He used to throw like 98, threw me a changeup and I hit it off the left field pole. So I almost went 1, 2, 3, like all the way across the field. That's why I remember that.
Okay, so a tweet.
You weren't even impressed by that, by the way. That's kind of bullshit.
No, because I'm reliving these
You were like,
tweets.
all right, cool. Yeah.
This is all right. So here's what happened. Here's what happened. Because you were hitting all these home runs. One of my tweets about you was used in the sports section of the Providence Journal because I think his name was Brian McPherson. Maybe.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
I remember that. Yeah.
He tweeted, in other news, Kevin Youkilis started a walking program today. And I said, that's weird because Will Middlebrooks just started his trotting program. And then he took that tweet and put it in the Projo. So on the 6th, I tweeted, that was a bomb. Middlebrooks picks a good spot to drill the first home run of his career, a grand slam. We're all tied up at 5. And then same day, Will, rookie mistake. Middlebrooks watches his ball down the line thinking it was foul. It's fair,
my
and a sure
God.
double becomes a single.
Okay. Yeah.
Idiots.
So I got a quick story because that's
Yeah.
why we're here. So literally my first day in the big leagues, we're playing Oakland. It was like, so we played Oakland for, we wore throwback unis. Brandon McCarthy's pitching. It was actually one of my good buddies. And then we had an off day the next day, and then we played Baltimore for a 3-game set. But the first day, Pedroia was like talking to me about the cutout behind third base. Like if there's a ball hit down the line, like chase it because it might shoot back out to me or shortstop. And he's like, oh, by the way, if you hit a pop up, like if a righty hits a pop up down the left field line, it doesn't matter if it's like 10 rows deep, it comes back to the field. Like he told me that. And like 4 days later, I shit you not, the lefty that used to throw hard for Baltimore back in the day.
Uh-huh.
I jammed me, and I hit like a pop up. I mean, ball was landing in the Dippin' Dot stand. Like it wasn't even close to the field.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just standing there like a dipshit watching it. And I hear run like out of the corner, and like whoever's on deck, I don't remember who it was. And so I start jogging, but I'm like, this ball's so foul. And it came all the way back and hit the fucking line. It hit the line. And there I stand on first with my thumb up my ass, and I feel so dumb. And I look in the dugout, and Pedroia is like, you fucker, like just like yelling at me. And I'm like, I'm going back to AAA. Like I might even go back to Portland at this point. Like who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember that because I was terrified because they're all just top stepping me, like mad dogging me. I'm like, oh my God, they told me this 4 days ago and it just happened.
Right.
So yeah.
That was in
Cool.
Oakland?
Huh?
That was in Oakland?
Against Oakland.
No. That was at home against Baltimore.
Or Baltimore, yeah.
Okay.
But I was just saying, like, we had one game against Oakland, a day off, and then we played Baltimore. So
Got
it was
it.
like right after he told me. But the first game we played against Oakland was when he told me that would happen.
All right.
Wei Yin Chin, right?
Yes, that's him.
Yeah.
So then the next day, Middlebrooks with a 3-run homer, second in as many days. And then the next tweet, Will Middlebrooks smashes a 2-run shot off the left field foul pole, his second of the game, third in the last 2 days. With that 2-run shot, Will Middlebrooks now has 6 extra base hits, 3 homers, 3 doubles with the Red Sox, 2 more than Kevin Youkilis.
Yikes.
I had it out for you. I was fucking.
Jesus.
I was definitely Team Middlebrooks there. I don't know what was going on. I think it's just because I knew that like Uke was probably gone at the end of the year. So I was like, why are we delaying the inevitable? If Will's up here smashing baseballs all over the place, then like, what are we doing? Like, why at that point would you send him down when he's doing that type of damage? I don't know. I love Uke, but apparently I was dick riding pretty hard for Will.
I mean, the Red Sox retired you not his number, but like isn't he like a Red Sox Hall of Famer though?
Yeah. I mean, I love Uke. But I just knew that I knew what the future plans were. And that was obviously
the only reason
base.
I'm doing this job for Nesson is because that's the only way I'll ever be a Red Sox Hall of Famer. If
You
I
think
do
so?
this for like 35, 40 years, they
You
won't
could
have a
probably,
choice.
yeah. Just put in like half a century, you'll be good.
Yeah, just like die in the booth.
Yeah. You could, I could see you doing this job 50 years from now.
50? No. 50.
40.
84 years
People live
old.
longer now. People live longer.
What time? How
Modern
old?
technology.
How old was?
Lived to be like 120, 130.
How old was Vin Scully when he retired?
Like 140.
Yeah, yeah. He put in some time.
Oh, dude.
Did you
yeah.
did you get any feedback? Did you get any feedback from Nesson about
Yeah,
your?
it was all good.
What they say? What they say? Will?
I didn't get any like heavy critique. Like I asked for it. I was like, give it to me, my producer, boss, everything. And they were just like, it was good. I think they're kind of checked out just because the
Who
team
wouldn't be at
is
this point?
where
Yeah.
they're at. Right.
Yeah.
So they're just like getting through it. And I think the only thing that they're worried about right now, not that they're not worried about doing a good job, but I think the team isn't really a thing right
Mhm.
now. And I think getting to X last series is what they're worried about
Right.
because and he like won't go in the field. He doesn't want to do any like ceremony. Just because that's just who he is. He don't want the attention, but they'll give him a little something.
Yeah.
But he's not going on the field.
Yeah. I think
The last time
they
he went on
asked
the
him.
field was to catch Remy's first pitch.
Oh, before the wild card game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not going back again. I want that to be the last time.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Good for him.
By the way, just to keep on like talking about Eck, the other night when he was like giving me the advice
Mm-hmm.
on air, which was like one of the coolest moments.
What, the be yourself
of my-
thing?
Like, yeah, like just coming from who it was coming from
Yeah.
and listening to him. Like I totally forgot I was in the booth for like a couple minutes because I was just so locked in and he was so passionate and like, I felt like he didn't even think he was in the booth. I felt like we were sitting on the couch and he was just like had a cigar rolling and was like telling me about all this stuff. And it went like we were on cam for a lot of that. And then they eventually went off cam and we were just watching the game, but he was still talking a little bit and OB had kind of taken back over. And I looked over because Zach hadn't said anything in like a minute and a half.
Mhm.
And I look over and he's had like tears. Like his eyes were like literally like tears rolling down his face. And I was like, shit, man, like this means so much to this guy. It would be like disrespectful for me to like not take this serious and not put everything I can into it if I get to do some games next year, just because of how much he cared just to tell me that stuff and just to watch him kind of break down. It was cool. It
Yeah.
was like special, you know?
Yeah. I think not only does he want to, because he was talking about it on the broadcast, like, you know, I played 24 years in the big leagues and then I did another 20 in the booth. And it's not just a matter of like, all right, thanks for the fucking paycheck. See you later. Like, I think he wants to leave the booth a better place than when he first showed up. And I think if he sees that in you, like, that's a fucking big time torch passing moment where he's like, all right, yeah, like if I can, like, I'm not going to be here next year to kind of guide you through this. I'm sure, like, I don't know if you have his number or not, but I'm sure he's definitely a guy that you can reach out to and ask for advice and he'd be happy to give it to you.
Yeah, no, he's texted me. He texted me like, let's see, I came home. When was the last game? Thursday. He texted me Saturday. So
Mhm.
yesterday and was just like, hey man, this is Zach. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Like we text him. He's every time he texts me, he's like, hey, this is Zach. And I'm like, so I can save your number.
Right.
But he was like, hey man, you did a great job. I think you're gonna be really good at this. Just left the door open to call me anytime you need anything.
Right.
So
he always signs his messages.
But let's not forget about Uke in this equation. Like Uke is really good at this too.
Uke is really good, but when we were talking about it on the podcast last episode, the whole thing was not even just limiting it to you and Uke. It's former players around your age group in general. A lot of them have made their money. And a lot of them are displaced. Like you don't live in Boston. Uke doesn't live in Boston.
I need money. Like
you're broke.
I didn't make a ton of money.
Yeah, like you are a peasant in the baseball world. But
in the baseball world, absolutely.
Yeah. So I think when you look at the Jerry Remy's of the world, when you retired from playing, you still needed to get a job. Like you weren't well off from your playing career. And obviously the salaries have exploded since his playing days. And there are just guys that they don't need to do the full 162. Like a guy like Dallas, he just fucking loves it. You need to find a guy that didn't get the $100 million contract, who loves baseball, who wants to be around baseball and is obsessed with it. Because I think this is the first year that Dallas did the full 162. There are not a whole lot of Dallases growing on trees, especially in terms of all Oakland A's players. If you played your whole career with the A's, you broke as fuck. If you played your career with the Red Sox, you're probably doing okay financially. So it's hard to find someone that is near and dear to Red Sox fans' hearts that didn't make $100 million, that also still wants to be around the game and is knowledgeable and is good on camera and can speak and do all this shit. So that's why I was like, yeah, I think Will is about as perfect of a fit as you're going to get, because in the case of Kevin Youkilis, he made his money. He's not local, and he has his own business. Like he has like the brewery that he still does. So I don't know that he's ever, I'm not going to put words in his mouth, but I don't know that he'd ever want to do like a full schedule or anything like that.
Maybe he plays like the Eck role. And I think that's the thing, Will, like with you and like, I listen to Wake and Rake. I've heard your stuff. You have that, no offense to Uke. I think Uke's been amazing so far in the booth, but you get the new age baseball fan a little bit. And I think that's something that just Nesson in that booth has not had. Someone who's willing
to back on that hard. I wanted to use so much more. And I like every time I would say something, those two guys would be like,
yeah, dude, you dropped war at one point and I saw Eck and Eck was like, okay, like, all right.
Did you hear the day game on Thursday when Eck talked about spin rate?
Yes.
And he looked at me and winked and I was like, did you just drop an RPM on me?
But like, that's the stuff.
He was so fired up that he said that. He did that for me. And I was like, let's go. This is awesome.
That is so cool because it's just not something the booth has had. And listen, I'm a nerd. I go too deep with it. And sometimes it's something like, even on radio, older fans just can't connect with. You can do both because you get that old school kind of mentality as a player.
It's finding that line for this audience.
And that's
right?
what you
So
need.
it's like, you think about Boston and Red Sox fans, there's way more 70-year-olds watching than 20-year-olds. Honestly, I mean, that's Red Sox baseball. Is it? The older you get, the more you probably love it, just because you've lived there for so long, and you're just like, it's ingrained in you. And they want nothing to do with me talking about launch angle and spine tilt and all that shit. Like they don't care. They probably throw up in their mouths when I bring it up. But if you want to grow the game, you need the younger generation to be those 70-year-olds one day. And right now is when you kind of got to grab them. So I'll mix it in. And I'll find ways to mix it in an old school way, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's the best way to do it. It's just dropping it in so you're just recognizing, yeah, these are important parts. I think at the end of the day, like your guys' job is to connect with the casual fan. That's the whole point. Right. But like that stuff along with like, you have feel for prospects. You get a little bit of the outer skirts of the baseball world. I think Eck's been really good in certain ways. Like he watches a ton of West Coast ball and stuff like that. I think you're just in a little bit of a different corner, but it's just a corner they don't have.
There's something to be said, and I take pride in this. I I see the game differently than a lot of players that are in the media, because a lot of the players that are in the media are Hall of Famers. MLB Network, they want Hall of Famers, or not even just Hall of Famers, but players that had 10, 15-year careers and were really good players. ESPN, they want Hall of Famers. Fox, TBS, like they want Hall of Famers because they think, and I get it. Like I enjoy seeing like Frank Thomas and Big Papi, and I'm not going to say A-Rod, but because I don't care. I don't. But I enjoy hearing what those guys have to say, but the game was easy to them. I shouldn't say easy. It looked easy to them. They didn't, and I'm not going to say they didn't grind and go through their own battles, because everybody did. Even the best of the best went through tough times, but not like most of us. Like most of us, it's a really hard game and it beats the shit out of you for years. And mentally, you just crumble over and over again, and you pick yourself up and have to just put it all together and go play every single day. When you really want to go dig a hole and just like die. That's baseball. Like it's such a negative sport full of failure. And I just feel like that's what's going to help me when it comes to being critical of players, because I can explain to you why they screwed up, because I did it a lot. And that's part of it. I can critique a play all day. I can criticize a play all day. I'm not going to criticize a player. I'm not going to get personal. But I have a job to do too. And I think that's something I didn't realize when I was a player, and I'm looking at the media and I'm like, why is this guy crushing me? Like he's doing what the fans want to hear, because they need to understand why you screwed up. I don't know. I just feel like I have a good handle on like explaining things, just because I saw the game a lot differently than most of these broadcasters do.
Do you think all players eventually have that like moment of reckoning where after their playing days are done, they sort of get it, like why people in the media say what they do, and it's not necessarily to be mean or to hurt anyone's feelings. No. Like there'll always be guys that just hold grudges for the rest of their lives.
They don't get it unless they get into the media.
Yeah.
Until you have to do that job.
Right.
It's hard, man. I still have a ton of teammates playing. Mm-hmm. I played with Xander. Like I used to work out every offseason with Trevor Story. Michael Wacha literally used to come to dinner at my house in high school. Like you hit on that earlier, but like it is what it is. And if you go out and you're a dud that day, I have to say you were a dud that day. Mm-hmm. But they also know me, and they know how I see the game. They know I know how hard the game is, and they know I'm not just going to shit on them to shit on them. Mm-hmm. I think if you know me, you understand that. But not everybody's going to know me. Like by the time, if I'm lucky enough to be doing this in 20 years, I'm not going to have any personal relationships with these guys. All my guys are going to be long gone.
Right.
So that I think right now it helps me. A lot of people think it's tougher because I have guys in the game that I know. I think it makes it easier, honestly, because they know me.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because obviously, like even a guy like Dennis Eckersley, who all the fans love, and I think is one of the more knowledgeable and entertaining broadcasters in baseball. He had his problems with that 2018, 2019 Red Sox group.
Let me tell you that the David Price thing, like that still bothers him.
Yeah, I'm sure it does.
Like, cause he takes pride in like not being one of the boys, but like understanding the game. Mm-hmm. Like he was a Hall of Famer. Yeah. But he still had lots of ups and downs. He had more downs in his like personal life than he did on the ball field. But like that bothered him a lot. I'll leave it at that.
I think it's the one line, but like, I believe, to paraphrase, like what Price said on the plane was like, Dennis Eckersley, Hall of Famer, the game was easy to him, blah, blah, blah. It's like, Eck had one of the hardest baseball / personal lives during his playing career, like of all time. Like he had his shit off the field. And then obviously like the 88 World Series, like that was something that haunted him for a long time. Like that, like he fucking knows the game's not easy.
I'll go out on a limb and say David Price probably regrets that.
I'm sure he does. Yeah. I mean, Price is not a bad guy. I think Price.
He's not a bad guy at all, but you're on the plane, you're drinking.
You're trying to be the defender of all your teammates.
Emotions are high after whatever happened. Like you're pissed about it. Yeah. And you're like, the vet kind of standing up against the guy that's talking about you. It was bullshit by Price. And I'm not just saying, I like Price. We're boys. I would tell him that to his face. I think he would look back at that and be like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe he thinks he was in the right, but
I don't think so.
I don't know. All I know is it really like hurt Eck deep.
Yeah.
Like it really did.
Yeah. And I think if you were to ask Price, and even talking to some of Price's teammates, they were like, this guy could come in, be the happiest guy in the world, jolly Price one day. The next day he could have the ass and nothing would have happened in between. So it was just a matter of catching him on the wrong day. And I think you're right that if you were to ask Price right now, or at the end of let's say at the end of the year when he's retired and maybe he's feeling reflective and sentimental about his career, like, hey, what's the one thing you wish you could have back? I would hope that the Eck incident is one of the first things that comes to mind for him.
Yeah, I don't think I also don't think he's thought about it in a long time either. It's probably just
not.
like gone in his head. He's got enough, doing his own thing. But yeah, knowing him a little bit off the field, I don't think that's something he would stand by. I just don't.
Me neither. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's not like Eck is not a gotcha guy. He's not out to like crush anyone. That's not what he's looking to do.
He's just off the cuff. Like whatever he thinks comes out of his mouth. And that's what makes him good.
And all he said was yuck. That's it. Someone said like Eddie's pitching line in Pawtucket and Eck said yuck. That was it.
Listen, if you're looking at all the Eck moments, like I go back to the Wade Miley moment when
he just got your lunch.
Like if there was a moment
that the moment he was doing post game, right?
Yeah, like that's one of my favorite clips. I tweet that all the time when someone's pitching like shit.
But like he's saying what like people are thinking,
right?
And that's why fans appreciate.
But that's why, bingo.
Yeah,
but that's why it can piss some players off. But it's a fine line, man. You just gotta. Honestly, I mean, I'm to the point in my life where I don't really care what anybody thinks about me. Like, unless you're my family or my closest friends or you guys, obviously. I just don't care. Like, there's nothing you can say about me that hasn't already been said. And here I am. Like, I don't care.
Living the dream.
So, I'm not gonna put myself in a position on purpose for a player to not be happy with me or what I said in the booth or pre and post game or whatever the hell I'm doing. Just because like I kind of hit on earlier. I get it, man. I know how hard this game is. I'm never going to forget it because it is a lot easier sitting up in the booth. I'll tell you that. I don't have to hit that slider. I can tell you how to do it and why he didn't do it, but I don't have to do it. I can tell you why he took a bad first step and booted the ball in the 6 hole. Because his drop step was horseshit. I can tell you that, but it's not because I think the game's easy. It's just my job to tell you why you screwed up. I don't know.
What just happened? Did I cut out or did Will cut out?
Will was good. I heard all that and all the way.
Okay, so I cut out. Never mind.
You've been a little blurry. You keep going blurry over there.
This happens like the deeper we go into podcast, Jared. I don't know why, but it always kind of fades out a little bit like that.
Was his screen just black on that 3-hour show?
Oh, God.
Have you?
Will.
What I was going to ask is, have you had any player sort of not complain, but be like, take exception to something that you said on the air this year?
Not to my knowledge.
Well, you would know. They would pick.
No, but no one's confronted me.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't go searching for that either, though. So I don't.
Yeah, I feel like these players, like this group, don't give a shit.
No one's text. I feel like if someone didn't like it, they would somehow get my number through that clubhouse. Like there's plenty of people with my phone number. So if they had an issue, I feel like they would have reached out, but I haven't. I haven't crushed anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't had like
the one thing that
I feel
you'll
like
learn.
I can do it without crushing guys.
The one thing that you'll learn is that like your definition of crushing someone and their definition of saying something that was out of line are going to be completely different. Like sometimes you could say the smallest thing that you don't even think about after you said it. and they'll just be pissed at you because they're like, "Well, what? Yeah, you said
Totally.
that fucking
I remember that from playing. I mean, like every once in a while, I'd see a tweet or something in the paper, or hear something on the radio, or that wasn't that big of a deal. But I was pissed, and I was already super sensitive because I knew I stunk.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so it would just, it was just. It's like it was already gasoline poured all over me, and they just happened to like light a match. You know,
I'm not gonna name any names, but there was a guy on the team this year, and it wasn't my line. There was a line in a newspaper about this guy that was very much harmless and just kind of like descriptive, I guess. And this player was bullshit about it, like was red hot.
Pre-trade deadline?
No, it was post deadline.
Was that player on the team before the trade deadline?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he's been here for.
I was trying to like really narrow it down because if you said no, then I would have like had a handful of guys.
Yeah, it was.
Damn.
It was a pitcher. It was a pitcher who had something written in the newspaper about him that was pretty harmless.
Is he no longer with the
No,
team?
he's here.
Was he on the team
Oh,
before
really?
this year?
Uh huh. I'm not saying anything else.
We're working this list
But I'll
out.
play guess who. But he was really.
My initial thought was Diekman, but he's gone.
You could. Jake you can bleep it out, right? I can just cover my mouth so no one can see what I'm saying.
Yep, go ahead.
All right.
Whoa.
What? That's the last thing I would have thought. I didn't even know he could read.
He never talks.
I'm blown away. I'm blown away right now.
I remember that.
Oh, yeah. He was. You just gave everything away.
I know. You're going to have to bleep out this entire thing.
Yeah, but so
I mean,
honestly,
you can. I think can't you just, Jake? You can just delete my audio track, right?
Yeah.
You can delete my audio track and you get their reaction.
I think our reaction to that though was hilarious.
Nobody like that is the
I was-
last guy you'd think.
I would have never, because I figured he'd just be like, yeah, whatever, man.
No.
I figured he would just like grunt.
Yeah, I felt like it was pretty harmless, but sometimes guys
But
get
you
mad.
caught him on a bad day.
Yeah, it could be.
You caught him in the middle of.
Did you ever wear out a
hip
reporter
replacement?
in your playing days?
Yeah, then I married.
Oh!
Oh, you meant like verbally.
That was a
Should I have done that?
That was good.
No, I never did. No, I never did. I never. What am I going to say? Like,
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure
nothing really got written about me my rookie year negative because I had a good
you
year.
also you
My
would
second year,
admit that like younger Will Middlebrooks could be a prick sometimes. Like you had an edge to you that was like, I will, if you check me, I'll check you back type deal.
Yeah. I don't ever want to lose that. I just control it better.
But like your maturity level has gone up exponentially since 2012. Yeah.
Correct. I'm not 23
Your
anymore.
dad,
Yeah,
you're a husband. You have way more of your brain is a finished product, which is good.
I hope not. I hope we're still growing because I need it. But no, it's my time in Boston. Like, this sounds negative, but it's not negative. It calloused me, or gave me thicker skin.
Sure.
Because then I went and played in San Diego. No one cared about baseball. It was a surf town. But when I went there, Milwaukee, everybody's nice. They're all drinking beer and eating cheese curds and coming to watch ball game. If you boot it, it's all right. Get them next time, kid. Like, it's the Midwest. They don't care.
Sure.
Went to Texas. That was home. I played well in AAA there, and then the big leagues, and then Philly. I died. Like, I'm dead. Like, so I got killed in spring training, and I was done. So I didn't get to play in Philly, which would have been interesting. But I feel like at that point in my career, I went through my time in Boston. I struggled in Boston. I was one of the best players in Boston. I was one of the worst players in Boston. So I kind of got to see everything. And it calloused me. Like it's still like, even towards the end of my career, I was still getting to where I am now with that stuff. Like stuff still bothered me, but not nearly as much. But post career and like getting away from the game, and you escape that bubble of baseball where there's like nothing else going on around you. It's just baseball. It's all that matters. You forget that there's like people living their lives around you, because baseball players aren't like, I don't know the word, like not self-absorbed, but like you do it every day and you have to do it at such a high level that it's all that matters. It's all you think about. And you think that's how everyone is around you, even if they're not players. And you kind of lose sight that there's life outside of baseball. So once I got outside of baseball, got outside of that bubble, it's just kind of funny to think back, like how little things used to set me off. And I'm like, I laugh about it now.
Yeah. You're like, I knew you then and I know you now. And it's two completely different worlds.
I was a child. We both were.
Like, I was almost like, I was very much like you then too. Like I would not, you have to also understand, in my position, I have been reading horrible things about me on the internet since I was like 16. Like I've grown up in this. So like the callous thing happened for me
way earlier than me.
Yeah. Like I remember not handling it very well at all. And like, so I tried to not defend Jarren Duran for that thing that happened in Kansas City. Like when he was getting chirped in the outfield and he just turned around and like freaked out on the fans and all that. I was like, yeah, no, I kind of to an extent know what that feels like. Like I've never played in the big leagues. I've never like had fans in the stands chirp at me, but I've definitely been in a position where the fucking camera is in my face and I'm getting chirped over here. And like, you're a human. Like it's just hard to, you
have a limit.
Like, yes. Like I feel like everyone has a limit and it's way more difficult to find your limit as a public figure. And like, that's what we're asking of these like young baseball players.
And as a public figure, as a professional baseball player, there's a lot of added stress on top of that. So it boils over at some point, and you might not even say anything that bad, but you're going to catch hands. Like you're going to catch the spillover effect of that eruption, right? Like you're just going to have to deal with it because it was a ticking time bomb and you were in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah. Yeah. Boston's just like, it breeds that, especially.
I love it though. Like I like watching like Casas. Like I feel like
that's the opposite, right? Like
I feel like he's unfazed because he's in just his own world, dude.
Yeah.
And like I'm trying to think the best way to say this without sounding like rude, but like he's kind of weird. He's kind of he's just different. And I'm not trying to make that in a negative way. It's okay to be weird and different.
I think he'd be the first person to tell you that.
He's weird and different when it comes to what you see from a baseball player, from a big leaguer. Maybe not an everyday person. I don't know. But in the big leagues, you don't see kids come up and act like that. And I'm saying this in a positive way, is he is so focused and he is so routine oriented. Like he came up, we saw him on his first day in the big leagues and he's butt ass naked in the outfield at Fenway Park. Like, but he didn't care because they told him to stick to your routine. And he was like, hey, dude, I'm raking in AAA. I'm not changing a thing.
Yeah.
Like we saw him yesterday, teams miles from the playoffs, but he's at home plate, like visualizing his at-bats.
Yeah.
He doesn't give a shit how weird he looks.
No.
Because it works.
The other thing, too, I don't know if you saw the tweet. Was it Bradford or Alex Spear? Someone had the tweet the day that he got called up when he was like laying in the outfield and like sunbathing.
He's Bradford. Yeah.
Bradford. And there was like a nameless, I know who it was. There was a nameless player that walked by and said, what the fuck are you doing? And I think the Red Sox clubhouse, like day one, there were like veterans that were like, what the fuck is this guy doing? That's not how we do this around here. And then within a couple of days, they were like, all right, no, all right, do your thing.
It did not. As soon as this happened, I had a conversation with a couple veterans in that clubhouse.
Yeah.
And I was just like, hey, what do you got?
Yeah.
How many t-shirts are being made right now? And they're like, oh, dude, we got some good shit in the works. Like, this fucking guy. Like,
but they were just like, he is what he is.
Right. But that was like 3 days later. I checked back in and they're like, yeah, we're giving him a little bit of slack. Like, I think that's exactly it. That's just kind of how he is and it works for him. So we're going to ride it out a little bit.
Even Cora dropped the line like 2 or 3 days
There'll be
after.
some adjustments made.
And you could tell, all right, there was something going on there where maybe he might have stepped over something or got weird. But like you said, you can tell it's genuinely him and it's not in a way where he's trying to put it on anybody. It's him.
Here's the thing. When the kid comes to the big leagues and does something like that, you can't fault him because he doesn't know that he can't do that. Now, if he does something and then you say you can't do this anymore, and then he continues to do something after you guys decided that it wasn't right. Let's say he's wearing flip-flops to the field every day on the road when you're supposed to be dressed nice. Just something, I don't know, it's different now. You can wear whatever you want. But just for an example, if you're supposed to wear nice shoes to the stadium on the road and he keeps wearing flip-flops, the first day, I think Daniel Nava actually showed up in board shorts and flip-flops on the road his first day in the big leagues. And they were like, dude, you can't do that. And if he had done that the second day, they would have roasted his ass because he knew it. He knew after that. So I think after the first day, he made some changes. He did some stuff. He would come way earlier. Like I would go to the park really early sometimes when I was doing pregame just because I was at the hotel. I didn't have anything else to do. So I just go sit in the outfield seats and just like return phone calls, do some of my like prep work for the show. They wouldn't open the studio till like 3, but I'd come there like 1. He would already be in the outfield some days, like doing his thing. But they were like, made sure he did it way before everyone got there, not when guys are out there taking early work ground balls and your nipples are out. Right?
That's the thing that makes me question with Durant, because like I saw even his comments when he came up on on Friday, and he was like, I'm learning to have fun while playing baseball again. And I'm like, that sounds like someone, obviously the struggles or whatever it may be. We heard there was some pushback in the clubhouse where maybe he didn't, maybe understand or get the environment. Cause like you listen to like what Chad Tracy's saying down in Worcester, like he's the life of the clubhouse. Everyone finds him fun and he's electric down there. It seems like when he came up, it would just be a completely different dude. Yeah.
It's hard not to come up and try to be something you're not because you want to fit in. Right. I went through that. Like you want to, I'm going to dinner with like Big Poppy and these guys, and that ain't me. Like I was trying to be those guys, but I couldn't. Right. So at some point I figured out you just got to be yourself. But he can also be like loud and party all he wants in AAA. Become the big leagues, they're not really going to have that. You have to earn that right. I know the game's different than it used to be, but you still have to earn that right to be that loud party animal in the clubhouse. Because there's still some vets on that team that came up in tougher times. Like Xander came up and had some tough vets. He was lucky that Pedroia was one of them. Petey loved him to death, so it really wasn't that tough for Xander. But I don't know, Jared. I mean, I'm kind of getting off the rails here, but I have to share this about Durant. Have you guys seen Schitt's Creek?
Not a lot of it.
Fuck. All right, you have to look up Twyla from Schitt's Creek. Her name's Sarah Levy.
Okay.
Look it up. I want your reaction. And tell me if she wears number 40 for the Red Sox.
Oh my God. That's kind of scary. I see it.
I saw him the first time he played, and I had just finished watching. It's a whole face shape, nose, everything.
No.
And I was like, oh my God, it's Twyla.
I can see it.
Could be a thing.
Maybe it's just me. I don't know. But the first time I saw him, I was like, I had just finished watching Schitt's Creek, and so it was fresh in my mind. And I was like, holy shit, that looks just like Twyla. But anyways, he'll figure out a way. But what's tough is a lot of times when guys kind of get that like that's what people think about you, it's kind of tough to get comfortable after that.
Right.
So it's kind of like, that's where like change of scenery will be good for him. That's a lot of times you hear, oh, he needs a change of scenery. Not that he's not liked in the clubhouse, but maybe he's just not comfortable. And if you're not comfortable, you're not going to be a very good baseball player because you're worried about all this other shit and you can't. The big leagues is hard enough when you have 100% of your focus on it. If you have 20% of your focus on how you're being received in the clubhouse and what people think about you, you're not going to be able to play to the standard you need to play.
Why do you think you were able to fit in so well in that clubhouse at a young age? Like, just listening to Poppy talk to you in the booth the other day and hear, like, you can hear the genuine respect. Like, this is a guy I liked off the field, that's someone I could talk to and have a conversation with. What do you, like, was it just you realizing you had to be in your own skin, or was it like an adjustment period, like you said, where you had to learn how to be a big leaguer?
It's because I knew how to shut up and listen and take direction. I mean, I was playing with guys who had 10 plus years, guys who had 5+ All-Star games, World Series rings, you name it. Guys going for 500 homers, MVPs. Like, why would I not shut the fuck up and just listen to these guys? The worst thing you can do is go there as a rookie and be a loudmouth know-it-all because you raked in AAA. Yeah, they all did. Everyone did, right? Like it's like getting a pro ball and being like thinking you're a stud because you hit 500 in high school. Sick. Everybody did, you know? So I think just being able to sit back and be a sponge. And I would go ask questions all the time. So I would just always I made it clear, like, if I do something wrong, let me know. I want to learn. I want to get better. I'm aware of what I'm surrounded by right now. And I realize I'm lucky, you know. Don't think I came up with all that on my own. I had people tell me, you are lucky, like you need to sit back, and I just listened. So I think that's the hardest part for some young guys is you come in riding a heater and you want to continue just being who you were at AA, AAA, and you can't be. You just can't be.
And I think
there's go ahead.
Yeah, and I think even today, like, I'm not saying this happened with Duran, but when you have the prospect hype that's in baseball, where, let's be real, 2021, Jared, me, anybody, all we were tweeting was Jared Duran hype. Every time he homered, just like Costas, like last year, you can see how that stuff builds and builds and builds before a guy comes up.
Well, that's why the big leagues is the big leagues, because it doesn't always translate. That's why there's such a difference in the level of talent between the big leagues and AAA. Because it ain't for everybody, especially in Boston, right? Anybody can play in Worcester. Like, you come to Boston and you have 2 bad games and you're getting booed off the field. We'll see how you react to that. And yeah, I don't know. It's just not everybody's talent translates, and it's not because they don't have the talent. It's because the mental makeup behind the talent.
I feel like when you first came up, well, more so 13, like your next year, did you feel like that was a hard clubhouse to fit in with because there were so many vets, or was it easier because they were all like vibrant personalities? Like, what was the dynamic for you? I thought it was going to be tough. But we had like this meeting in spring training, and Johnny Gomes and Poppy and all these guys basically said, you hear the story of being like, oh, they decided they're going to win a World Series in spring training. No, like we really did. Like, that's a real story where we're just sitting around like in the clubhouse, like most of the position players and like the vet pitchers like Lackey, Lester, those guys. And I just remember Johnny Gomes saying, like, just fuck around and win a World Series. Everybody's like, yeah, man, like that's our goal. Yeah. We're not here to, go out in the wild card. But he's like, no, seriously. And then like we got deeper in the conversation, and I'm not at this point. I mean, I haven't said a word. It's my second year. I'm 24. I'm just sitting back listening. I'm just glad I'm in the conversation, right? Yeah. And eventually, Johnny looks at me and goes, I know it's only your second year in the big leagues. We could very easily treat you like a rookie, but we need you. And we're not going to. He's like, I know you'll play better if we accept you. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, it's kind of like a weird, like, not like backhanded compliment, but kind of like, we don't have to accept you, but we're going to because we need you. Like, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. He's like, until you prove us wrong, you're in. And I was like, all right, let's go. And then I was like playing okay. And I had like a cold streak for like 2 weeks and they sent me to AAA for like a month and then came back and it was fine the rest of the year. And obviously the rest is history, but my body was also falling apart. Did we just lose him?
Yeah, we lost Tyler. He's back. There he is.
For some reason, it told me it would stop recording if I didn't refresh.
I don't even remember the original question, but yes, they were just like, we know you're young, but we need you and we're going to accept you because we need you to be comfortable to get the most out of you. Basically.
Yeah. Didn't like Pedroia call, like he told us that story. He like fucking called Ben Cherington. He's like, yeah, we're winning the fucking World Series. Something like that.
It had to have been like that night or the next day.
Yeah. This is all like before the marathon bombing. Like this was.
That was exactly what I was about to say. Was like once the marathon bombings happened, we're like, holy shit, like this is meant to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like we made this decision in spring training, but now it's not like we want to, like now we have to.
Right. There's a much greater purpose than going out and proving people wrong because we have a bunch of like cast off veterans. Like now like we're playing for the fucking city of Boston for an entire year. Like that
How
changes
cool
the
is that,
perspective.
by the way?
Oh my God. Yeah. Like we were talking about that before you hopped on. Tyler
Mike
said,
Carp talk.
Yeah, we were talking about Mike Carp. We had a big Mike Carp conversation. But I was there the day, the first game after the bombing. I was there that day, and
home game.
Yes.
Okay.
Like Ortiz's first game back, the Nava home run, the Boston "this is for you" game against the Royals. I don't know. I mean, obviously, it had to do with the bombing and everything that happened there. But there is just something about that year that made that team feel so different. And like when Tyler's a fucking idiot and he thinks that like the 2007 team is like the best World Series. I was like, that team is 4 out of 4 on everyone's list who's ever been there.
Why would that be the best one? Why would you not say 04?
So I'm 24.
Were you born yet?
No, I was born in 98. I was 6 years old.
Okay.
So I have no like emotional
That's fair.
connection.
You don't really remember it. Like
07 was my first like childhood one. 2013 was like my teenager one where I was like fully into the sport. I understood prospects and everything at that point. That's why those two are usually my 1 and 2 right there.
So then take it from someone that was there for all 4. 13, like I feel like you have to pick 04 as number 1. But like 13 was just like, I don't even know how to put it into words. I think the best blog that I've ever written in my entire life was the one that I wrote the night that the 13 team won the World Series. And
we were picked to finish dead last in our division that year.
Yeah. Like, every year after on the anniversary that the 13 team won the World Series, I reposted that blog every single year because it was like
October 30th.
Yeah. Every year on the anniversary, posted every single year. I've had like players that were on that team read it and like reach out and be like, yeah, like that perfectly sums up like what went down that year. And I think the further we get removed from it, like we're almost at 10 years, which is nuts. Like I still remember it like it was yesterday.
I have a bottle of wine that I'm opening on the 10-year anniversary.
What's it from?
Do you mean to get it? It's right behind me.
Yeah. What's the significance of the bottle? Is there anything you just got it for the anniversary?
Johnny Gomes had it made.
Oh, of course he did. That's some shit Johnny Gomes would do.
Can you imagine if I just dropped it right there and shattered it in the floor? So, Orrin Swift, like a well-known winery.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know if you'll be able to see this. Let me get it close.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, why am I like? I feel like
that's a real tattoo. This guy had these tattoos done, and then they took his picture and put it on the label of our wine.
I just got the same message. Hold on.
Oh, there goes Jared. Oh my God, that thing is beautiful.
I don't know if it's going to be Is he there?
Yeah,
Yep,
I just
we got
got the same message that Tyler did. It must be like when you hit like the fucking 3-hour mark or something.
It's all right. You guys have a cult following. They'll listen to every second. But yeah. Pretty cool. It says Boston Strong on the back. 2013 is a year. What does it say? A year, a team in a city got forever stronger on the back. It's pretty cool. But bottled by Oren Swift, who's like, have you ever heard of The Prisoner? Wine called The Prisoner?
Mm-mm.
Yeah. You don't really strike me as whinies.
I'll drink red wine, but I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know my wines.
Right. So that guy has our ring tattooed on his back with like Boston Strong, Boston Red Sox. And it's massive. I don't know if you could see that on the camera or not.
Huh. That's fucking sick.
Could you guys see that?
Yes. Yeah, on the bottle.
So yeah, I don't know if it's going to be good because I probably should keep it in like a wine fridge, but I like it in my office.
Mm-hmm.
So it's...
I think I have
we're going to drink it regardless.
I have like a bottle of 13 something in here. I don't know what the hell. I'm going to grab it.
Ideally, what would go down is the Red Sox would be in the World Series next year, and I would drink it at the game.
Oh my God. That would be beautiful. Who knows? You might be in the booth. Obviously, playoffs would be a little bit different, but geez.
Yeah, unless Fox finds...
Hey, Will, listen.
Hey,
hand you the bag, please. We're not denying anything. What has Jared got?
Jared. There he is. Okay, what you got? Are we doing artifacts? I have that same one.
Yeah.
Bro, okay, so I'm that guy. Like, I steal shit. Like, I
steal shit.
Hold on.
But to pull something out from the Red Sox clubhouse, what else we got?
Yeah. I mean, this is championship sparkling wine.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
See it.
Look at
You
that.
guys got to pop that together.
Where did we get these?
Those were the ones they had for like everybody. And then
Is this worth money?
this
Oh,
is
the
Ace
gold
of Spades
bottle.
one. Yeah, beer bottles. That's the whole kind. I probably have somebody's like spitter.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever.
So,
I got one more good one.
yeah, it says limited edition 2013.
You'll never open that, would you, Jared?
No.
This is better. Unopened, signed by the
Oh.
Gold Sharpie.
Oh, shit.
Did you have to like sign a bunch of shit on parade day, I'm assuming?
So
Yeah.
much. But it was all for like mostly players, like mostly us. But I mean, obviously ownership, and they like raffle stuff off.
Yeah.
And they got to make money off it,
Right.
right?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
I got a lot of random stuff in here. I have the cleats from that World Series, which I could probably sell for a shit ton because of the obstruction.
oh
play.
yeah. Alan Craig.
Dude,
Red
I
Sox
don't
legend.
think it was Bowman made a baseball card of that play.
Yes. 100%. I've seen the card.
It's cool, but like, fuck you. Like,
I mean, you're like, that was the only moment that I was fearful of the Red Sox winning that World Series. Like I thought we were going to
my favorite player for at least 3 years after that World Series was Colton Wong,
for getting picked off.
because he got picked off the next night and everyone completely forgot about it
Yeah.
for a little bit.
I just, after everything that happened that year, I just was like, if the Red Sox lose this World
The
Series.
shitty part is like I couldn't even do it. Like I couldn't do anything different.
No, but I was like,
Dude,
if it comes down to
I
a
got
fucking
death
obstruction
threats.
play
I was getting death threats.
from Red Sox fans.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you remember how, dude? I remember fans on Twitter were pissed. I remember
I was like,
I was
he
part of
was
the-
like, why
to
am
the
I
house.
yelling at Saul for throwing the ball into the baseline?
I
But,
was-
okay.
I was
I've never
one
thrown my
of,
team under the bus.
if not the most unhinged Red Sox fan alive at that point. And at no point was I ever upset with Will. I was like, the umpires. I was like, the fucking umpires are going to cost the Red Sox a World Series title in 2013 of all years. I don't think you can
I
blame
haven't
Will.
told this story about that. He's retired now, so I can tell a story. But I got it. Like Jim Joyce was the umpire.
Correct.
He's always in the middle of shit, but he was a third base umpire that called obstruction on that play. and which by rule was the correct call. It just sucked. By rule, it was obstruction.
Yeah, there's nothing you could have.
Nothing I could have done. But I was wide awake all night after that play. Like just staring at the ceiling in my hotel room, like I just lost a World Series game. And it meant more than just a World Series game because of the team I was with and like kind of the pact we made at the beginning of the season, the marathon, like all that was just like, please God, don't let me be the next Bill Buckner. You know what I mean? Like, and, but it was less about me and more about like the team. Like I just wanted us to win. But I get a random number text me at like 3:39 a.m. I'm like, what the fuck? And I open it up. Hey man, this is Jim. Just want you to know, like, I hate that I put you in that position. I had to make that call. By rule, I had to make that call because of by the rule book. I had to do it. I feel terrible. I'm wide awake. I'm sorry. Don't tell anyone I text you. I'll lose my job. But just like and then after that, like he didn't have to do that,
right?
But like, and that didn't make it better. But for a split second, I was like, not pissed at him, or not that I was ever pissed at him, but he was just kind of in the line of fire with it too, well, kind of like I was. I just thought that was really cool that he had the balls to text me and apologize when he didn't have to. He didn't do anything wrong.
Right.
But he felt bad for me.
Yeah. And I think that after the Galarraga thing, cool. I think out of all the umpires in Major League history, like Jim Joyce is the one guy that shows that he actually gives a shit about how the players feel.
He's just bawling his eyes out, right? Oh, yeah. The guy just loves the game.
Yeah. He was in tears during the press conference. And then the next day, Galarraga brought the lineup card to home plate. And he like teared up again during that.
That made me like him. Like when I saw that, I was like, and he said, look, it's not a personal thing. Like I don't feel bad because I messed up a play. I feel bad because I love baseball and I messed up baseball history.
Yeah.
And when he said that, I was like, all right, I like you a lot.
Yeah. I'd love you. Jake, book Jim Joyce.
I didn't tell you about that text.
Yeah, no, I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
No one listens to this podcast.
Nope.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Yeah, there's I can only imagine the feeling that was going through your body that night. Like I laying in bed.
I felt like I weighed 1,000 pounds.
Yeah, not even that. Just like laying there being like, I don't want to be a footnote in baseball or Red Sox history where when we think back on like this magical season, like, yeah, but that fucking Middlebrooks obstruction play, if it just weren't for that,
right,
we would have won the World Series that year. Like, yeah, it was cool and all to go.
People try to come at me on. People try to use that as like a insult on Twitter.
I've seen it in your
you're
like
known
underneath
for is like an obstruction. I'm like, all right.
That's also not even true. Like, I don't think that when people think of Will Middlebrooks, they don't think of the obstruction play.
Well, it's between that and Jenny, like,
yeah,
that's about it.
Way more people would say that you're known for. Aren't you that dude that's married to that Nesson chick? And it's like, yeah, but I also won a World Series.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah,
I do. I could barely walk by the time the World Series got there. I don't know if you remember earlier in the season. You remember Chris Parmalee?
Yes,
lefty for the Twins.
No.
We were playing the Twins, and he hit a pop up by like the on deck circle for the visiting side because he's a lefty. Yeah. Anyways, I was kind of shifted over in the 6 hole, so I'm sprinting to catch the pop up. But David Ross is sprinting too, and we both slide. I make the play into the fence. You remember that?
Dude, I swear to God, I almost posted this Twitter
I saw you
clip.
light up when I said I slid into the fence, but I slid
right in that little corner, right near the dugout a little bit, right
before the dugout,
yeah.
Right. And Rossi slid too, but he's fully padded up and shin guards, and he smoked me and like twisted me weird. It broke like one of my ribs, and I had like a disc issue in my back the rest of the season. And I just got a cortisone shot in it and just said, we got to ride because I don't want to lose my job. I'd already been sent down once. I was like, I don't want to lose my job. So I'm going to just give me a shot. Like, let's keep playing. And it was fine. Like, if you've had a cortisone shot before, it's like a Band-Aid. It doesn't fix the initial issue, but you feel good for like 6 weeks. And by the time we were playing Tampa, it was like, it was by the Tampa series. By the end of the season, I remember diving for a ball against the Blue Jays toward the end of the year. Jose Reyes hit a ball in the 6th hole I was playing in, and I dove for it, got in, like threw him out from my knee, but my back like zinged me, and I was like, oh shit, my back's back, like it's hurting again. That was towards the end of the year, and then progressively throughout the playoffs, I could barely get out of bed. By the time the World Series got there, I could barely get out of the bed because I had such nerve pain running down my leg, and I couldn't even play. That probably attributed to me laying down on the baseline and being trampled by Alan Craig, but it's crazy how that progressed. But the coolest on that, I'm like not even making sense, but I'm like reminding myself of stuff. So in the middle of that playoffs, obviously David hit that grand slam against the Tigers, and I led off that inning with a double off Jose Veras. Coolest moment of my career being on third base when David hit that grand slam.
Could you tell off the bat? Because it was a liner.
It was hammered, but it was low.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like one of those balls you're like, peace, like that's good. That's crushed. Like the ball Almonte hit the other day, like that was a moon ball. Like, you're like, oh my God, that might hit the Budweiser deck, Sam Adams deck, whatever. And but this was low, and I knew Torrey was out there. And Torrey was in my workout groups in the off seasons with Trevor Story, LaTroy Hawkins, Joel Hannaran. Like, that was our workout group. And I knew how athletic Torrey still was, because he could still like go up and dunk a basketball. And I'm like, he was playing deep because David's up. He's going to keep everything in front of him, try to keep, 3 runs from scoring. And so I wasn't sure. And it was so fast too. I didn't really have time to think. It was 2 out. So I was just kind of jogging. I didn't have to tag up. And there's a picture somewhere, I have to find it, of like I hit home plate like as the ball went out, and I jumped, and I had to have been like 40 inches off the ground, like with my hands in the air. It was sick. But we get back to the dugout, and David came out for a curtain call, and I'm standing next to Ellsbury, and he goes out for his curtain call, and we're just gonna stand in. If you look at the video, me and Els are at the bottom of the steps, just like staring up at God. David Ortiz, like at the top, doing his curtain call, like straight face, like no big deal, just another homer. And I remember looking at Els, and I go, "This is the coolest moment of my life." And that was the first time in my life, only time in my life I've been speechless.
Yeah,
like it was, I couldn't talk from like the point he hit the homer until I said that to Els. Like I couldn't talk.
Like
it was
because
it was cool.
I think you have an appreciation for the moment, right? Where you were on a team that was on a World Series run. You had seen some pretty cool shit that year. And it's not just about this is the ALCS. This is Fenway Park. That was a grand slam. It's David Ortiz that's doing this. So like he's
been doing this since he was born.
It's like you have a front row seat to one of the coolest, like you already know at that point he's a Hall of Famer. And it's no disrespect to anyone else on that team.
People will watch until the end of time.
If let's just say hypothetically, that's Daniel Nava. It's still an awesome moment, but people around aren't being like, dude, like this is going to be replayed for years and years and years.
Right. Like a cop probably doesn't get famous off of it.
Right.
Horgan, right?
Steve Horgan.
Yeah. Like, no, I mean, I think about it all the time. Anytime I see it and it like comes around, like it goosebumps, man.
Yeah.
And just thinking, literally, this is a highlight that 50, 60 years from now, people will still watch and be like, holy shit.
I don't think that they still play Red Sox highlights from like when Ted Williams was playing. So yeah, like we'll all be dead and they'll still be playing that grand slam.
How different? This is not relevant, but like how different. Think about watching Ted Williams video and it's like grainy and black and white, and like how different is it going to be, fast forward 50, 60, 70 years, I guess 80 years, considering he played in the 40s. Like just how different is You're gonna have like holograms, basically.
It's gonna be like
right?
VR. Like you're gonna be every person watching the game is gonna be like at the game.
You can watch this from the hitter's point of view or the pitcher's point of view. Like that's gonna be pretty sick.
That would actually be really good.
Oh, so I heard Alex Cora the other day in the presser pregame. He said they have Eric Hosmer's been taking at bats off of. He said it was like you can do like online at bats.
It's a high.
I think he was trying to say. But is it like VR? Because have you seen that Win Reality?
Have you
thing?
seen it, Will?
that?
Have you seen it?
Tell us your experience, Jared.
Okay, tell me more.
So I have. This is they sponsor the podcast. I don't have the ad read on this show today, but I will give them the free ad here because they.
I have a buddy that works over it.
Okay.
I know nothing about it.
So they sent me one, and it's cool as fuck. Like you can choose the skill level.
Is it realistic?
Yes. Like you can choose the skill level of the pitcher on the mound, lefty, righty. Like you can look at their attributes of like what type of shit they got.
Can you pick certain like can you pick like I don't know. Can you pick Garrett Whitlock? Can you pick like
I don't think you can pick
certain
names.
big leaguers? Okay.
Yeah, so you can,
that'll be the game changer.
right.
When you can load a certain pitcher and take at bats. Like you can go in between at bats if you're a DH and go take more at bats off them in the cage.
So yeah,
is that
the
fair?
Red Sox, the Astros, and there's another team that has that.
Of course, probably the Yankees.
Maybe. They basically it's like a big ass video board, and the whole of where their release point is will move.
Okay, I've seen this.
And then they show the
the whole
moves to adjust to the release point of the pitcher.
See, I've seen like the old school like video whiteboard, and there's just one hole, but same guy throws out of it every time. So this changes.
So you can put in whatever pitcher that you want. This is not Win Reality. This is the machine that like the major league teams have.
So they can put in actual pitchers.
Yes. So you can see real pitchers.
And you just set the machine to throw a certain slider that breaks. Like
they take their TrackMan data. So you get the exact spin, velocity, release point, everything. Yeah.
Dude.
And the weird, like,
I would have hit a career at least 240 if I had that shit.
So
from 228.
So you can go in there and face whoever, and it's all the exact same thing. And like, it's a video of that pitcher pitching. So you can time them.
And it's in the cage. It's in their cage. I mean, there's only one cage. Like,
I haven't seen it. I've only seen the video of it because
well, I mean, there's only so many places you can put it in Venmo Park.
Yeah, one of the guys
be,
showed me that he was facing himself.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, as a pitcher got in the cage to face himself.
That's like damn, what was the name of that movie where like you're dreaming inside of a dream?
Inception.
That's some like Inception shit. Facing yourself. Yeah. We're getting real weird here. We're getting late. What time is it?
It is late. It is late. This is another 3-hour pod.
I'm about to say they keep asking how we can keep doing it. We find a way every single time.
We're well over 3 hours, I think. People are going to see that.
I've been on for almost 2 hours.
And we did an hour before you got here. So yeah.
I've been on for an hour 50.
Jenny just tweeted us. What did she say? It's been a long weekend. Felt good to get the kids down and on the couch with Middlebrooks. We're watching Sunday Night Football on NBC, and Jared Carrabis calls. Will says, "Let me hop on the pod real fast. It'll be quick." 2.5 hours later, for the record, Will chose Jared over me.
Oh, that's good.
It's a good tweet.
That's good. So is that my cue to like?
Yeah, you're kind of getting yelled at.
If you don't want to die.
I mean, I'm already at this point. We might as well finish.
Yeah, you're already in the doghouse.
That's the good thing with Jenny. I'm never in the doghouse. She doesn't stay mad. She doesn't hold grudges. She's a gamer.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
All right, man. I don't. This is great. I feel like you can just pop on whenever you want now, whenever you get bored.
Yeah. Now if we can just figure out my Google Chrome. I had to update
You're
it.
good.
I have Chrome.
This is
but
this
I
is the
never use
question that I wanted to ask you. Because I asked this to Brock as well.
Okay.
What would it take to get you to Boston?
To live there?
Because I mean, obviously that's a Jenny decision as well, because geographically, like where you live now is easier for her too.
Totally. And so part of her contract is she has to work at HQ when it's not football season. She has like 100 days she has to hit, or I don't know the number, something like that, where she has to work the studio show. And that's for the next 2 years. So once that's up, who knows? You know, if they want me to do a good amount, I mean, I'm in.
If Nesson came to you this winter,
right?
And they were like, Will, we want you to do 150 games. Are you down?
I mean, I'd find a way. Yeah.
You can live with me.
That's what I said. You had a couch.
It's a big couch.
You had a king size bed too. You'd never know I was there.
Oh yeah, I forgot that you've been in my apartment. I was like, how the fuck does he know how big my bed is? I forgot you've been here. You've been here.
I've been in the cribbage.
Netflix and Will.
I know that's not going to happen next year, just because I know how many games other people have.
But you're in the rotation, and you've got age on your side.
So they haven't told me a thing about next year. So I don't know if I'm going to have the same schedule I had this year. I don't know if I'm going to have 50 games out of 70 games. I don't know. They haven't told me a thing. I also haven't asked because I figured it's kind of a big thing, and they would come to me whenever they're ready.
I just feel like geographically, like even if you had like an apartment here, like, hey, like like let's make this easier, that it would help with like, hey, okay, so if we can fly you up here.
Well, yeah, no, and then they're not having to, I don't know. That's something to look into, because I mean they're putting me in a hotel every time I'm there, so that's more money out of their pocket.
Right.
So I'll move in. It's fine.
Will,
any of you guys?
You don't got to answer this, but coming into this year, did you expect to be in the booth more? Because I felt like the conversation, at least amongst fans, was that you were going to be part of that group, throughout the year, like Maz and like, everyone who was coming in, Uke and kind of cycling. Oh, okay.
So when I got the job, to do pre and post game, I auditioned for the booth and didn't get it, and they gave it to Maz, and that was the spot I was going for because Uke was already in. Millar had spots already, and then it was, I guess, me, Maz, and others. I don't know who the others are. But once I got the pre and post game, I was like, when I was trying to figure out my contract, I was basically saying, can you promise me a certain amount of games in the booth? Because I'm doing a couple college games. I want to try it out because I don't know if I'll like it or not. And they're like, no, we can't promise you anything. And I was like, all right, whatever. Figure it out. Like, it's just, I just want to get my foot in the door in Nesson, learn the team, learn the people I'm working with, get in there with TC, because TC's always had my back. He's the one who made sure they got me in there for pre and post. So I just want to get my foot in the door. They told me they couldn't promise me any games. So I was thinking, I'm not going to get any. And then pre and post, I had a certain amount of games. They kept adding some here and there. So I was like, okay, I must be doing something right, or they would be adding games. And then that opportunity came up eventually. I was just like not hoping somebody would get sick, but like if something happened and they needed somebody to fill in while I was there, like I would do it. But I didn't expect to be in the booth at all this year.
Interesting. So when they did ask you and bring it up, was it more just like, we have a hole, or was it like, oh, we have an opening and we've been waiting to give it to, you've done well and let's see how it goes?
I think they were waiting to see how pre and post went, and then that was basically a tryout. I think that's what it was. It was like, we want to see if you can take the next step. So I feel like it went well. I enjoyed it. It honestly, it was easy. Like, it's not, and I'm not saying that in like a jackass way. Like, it's not hard. Like, I'm just personally, like, I'm just talking ball. Like, I still did a ton of prep but there's only so much you use because you can't predict what's going to happen in the game. And my job is to tell you exactly what you're watching. So I can have all these stats and numbers and this and that like planned to tell you, but I might get to use 3% of my prep because the game didn't go that direction. Or I didn't get to talk about this bullpen guy because he didn't pitch. Like, so I can sit and watch a baseball game and tell the wall about it. Like, that's just, I watch a game different and it drives Jenny crazy because she's like, shut up. Like, I don't care why this guy is taking his secondary lead in the baseline because he's trying to get to third faster. Like, I don't care. You need to go talk baseball for someone who cares because I don't give a shit. But I don't know. I never thought it was something I'd want to do. I'm glad I'm doing it. And I don't know. See what happens. I literally, and I'm not bullshitting you. Like, I literally have no idea what they want.
Are you done for the year? Is your schedule done for the year? Yeah.
Done. I just have CBS. I'm doing stuff from right here.
Okay. It'd be nice to
like betting shows, like random stuff.
Be nice to
I'll probably have to, if I do get in the booth, I'm probably going to stop doing betting shows.
I don't think that's true.
Well, pretty soon. I mean,
it's going to be legal before the start of next year. I mean,
right.
They had me in there and I am at DraftKings. So, and
I mean, you did half an inning and you weren't necessarily talking about, you were promoting NESN.
Yeah, but you're not like, even if you did betting stuff, as long as you,
it's not like Red Sox. It's more like the league and how the league looks at it.
And they have betting shows on MLB Network now. When they show the fucking like the bottom scroll there, they will have the lines for the games now on like MLB Network.
I guarantee if I'm doing this in 10 years, less than that, 5 years, I'm going to be talking about live bets during the game.
And I want to say
like a run line bet.
I don't know which gambling company it is, but I'm pretty sure one of the gambling companies sponsors the pregame show, or they were supposed to.
They're not. Maybe they were supposed to. They're probably holding off until it was legal because it didn't get passed till like midsummer, right? Late summer,
right?
Like July,
August.
Yeah.
It's gonna get integrated
because the NESN betting show, for what it's called. But I should probably know because I work there. But you work there too, you know.
Same. I was like, I don't know what it's called. Don't ask me.
The one with like Travis and Claudia and Sammy P. They couldn't do baseball until that happened, and then after that, they could start talking baseball.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah. So they're like talking about like NFL Network future bets in like May. You're like, all right, no one cares.
Yeah. Right. Interesting. Well,
so yeah, next year will be legal. Next year's gonna be a lot different.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. That is gonna
NESN
be fun.
lunch line. That sound right?
What was it?
Maybe
NESN lunch line.
Nah.
Or the NESN Ultimate Betting Show.
That's the one.
There we go.
Well,
yep. Well, I enjoyed it, guys. I'm glad it's same time next week, or
anytime you want to come back, just be like, sauce me that link. Be like, Jenny's got the kids tonight, and I'm looking to talk some ball. Be like, well, guess what? We got a link with your name on it.
All right. You let me know when you have an open spot, and if I have anything good to say, I'll just hop on. Even if I don't have anything good to say, I'll probably figure something out.
Yeah, I mean, this saved us. I mean, people are gonna like look at this and be like, how the fuck did they do another 3+ hour podcast again? And we didn't even talk about the series. Like, I have nothing to say about that series. Nothing.
It's
nothing.
It's dead. I mean, it's dead.
We did
this last series
Red
is
Sox
about one
thing.
thing. The last series is about one thing. It's Dennis Eckersley.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
that is really
sucks, but it's like where we're at. Like, let's get ready for the off season. Should be pretty fun. Like, there's gonna be,
save that thought.
Save that thought
for the next episode. We'll do the first hour.
I'll tease it though. I think there's gonna be a lot of moving parts and a lot of free money, like freed up money, like $83 million up.
Mm-hmm.
Just because. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll talk about it later. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later. Well, what do they say in the business world? Put a pin in it.
Put a pin in it. I was thinking more of like a sticky note, but it's fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Same
put a pin in it, sticky note, circle back, take this offline. All right. Will Middlebrooks, your Twitter is at Middlebrooks, yeah?
I don't know how I got that, by the way.
Yeah, that's weird.
I don't know.
There's a lot of you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I remember from your playing days. You say one thing about Will Middlebrooks and you get the whole fam gang just writing the
Really?
replies. Oh yeah.
I didn't know that.
I mean, I never said anything bad, but like I feel like anytime you're just like pro Will Middlebrooks, you got Mama in there, you got the
Mama.
sister in there. Oh
Mama's nice. Mama would never.
No, they were very super positive. I feel like they gravitated towards the people that they knew were Team Will.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Southern charm.
Brock's mom was another one of those. anytime you tweet about Brock, you were getting a like from Galen.
Your mom liked my stuff.
My mom, I've said this before. My mom thinks that the like button is the acknowledge that I saw this button.
I think I do that sometimes too.
That's fine. No, not like this. No, my
I
mom
give
likes
out-
everything.
No, yeah, not everything, but I feel like I don't know. As I like things because I feel like it might make somebody happy. That I
You
like.
make me happy when you like my tweets.
Pity like.
No, it's not pity. It's just more like it's easy to just scroll past it. But if it's like one of my boys or somebody, like I'll like half-ass read it and just like
Yeah, why not?
just like pad the stats. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They see it and they're like, all right.
I feel like
Yeah.
it's a nice
Well-
thing to do.
Yeah, Will fucks with my message.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Pin it. All
All
right,
right,
guys.
well,
I'm
we're gonna
going
have
bed.
to.
I
You go to
gotta. I gotta go.
Go
see
raise your
Jenny-
family.
Jenny Dell.
Yeah, go hang out with Jenny Dell. Tell her I apologize for hogging you for the entire night,
It's okay.
and we'll do this again soon.
It's all right, man. She's home for another 2 days before she's got to go to Knoxville or Tuscaloosa this week, actually.
Okay,
Yeah, Texas
I've never
A&M
been.
and Alabama.
Alabama. That was
Remember all the Jimbo Fisher and Saban beef in the offseason about NILs?
just baseball for me.
Okay, cool. Good talk.
I know
Well,
Nick Saban's a big deal.
Good job.
Anyways, there's beef. There's beef there, so should be
Mm.
fun.
Juicy,
Yeah. All right,
juicy
guys.
story.
Good night. Love yous.
Bye, Will.
Thank you, Will.
See you. I'll see you.
Be good.
All right. So now we got that's it, right? I mean,
Well, no. We got to let's get into game one of the series and let's work our way through. I have a lot to say about Nick Pivetta.
All right, go right ahead.
Then we have. I want to go through Bayo Day. And,
Yeah.
I have a little bit. Michael Walker's last start. That's a pretty big deal.
Bayo did get BABIP'd.
He did. That's typical Brian Bayo. Not as sharp as he usually is. It wasn't just that, but it's just not. When you ruin Bayo Day at this point, it's a really hard point in the season. But
Yeah, big
It
time
was-
got BABIP'd in that game.
that's been it. It looked like the first couple starts. So whatever.
The Red
Don't let
Sox-
it get away.
Big day for Bob Dahlbeck.
Yeah.
Love Bob getting in there. Didn't matter, still lost, but just had himself a day. And then Bayo getting BABIP'd. Also, just watching the Blue Jays, like this team is just so much better than yours team. That was the observation. This team is even regardless. Take away the scores. Just watch them play baseball. They just out baseballed you.
Do you want to know how bad it's been against the Blue Jays this year?
Are you going to tell me run differential?
That I got a couple things. We got
do you got?
historical things.
Okay.
So everyone knows the record against AL East is 23-50 now.
What
You
were they, like
finished
3-16?
Yep, 3-16 against the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays won the last 9, and then this is their worst in-season record against any team since going 1-17 against the Twins in 1965.
1965 was a motherfucker of a year.
They were American League champions.
The Red Sox?
No, the Twins.
I was going to say, yeah, there's no way.
So you haven't got your ass kicked this bad since 1965.
1965. What a year.
Oh, fantastic year. And you got outscored 125-55. So
Who was the
70
fucking
runs.
president? Would have been Lyndon Johnson.
Hoover. No,
No.
I don't know presidents. It gets foggy
Jake,
after the last
look that up. Who's the president in 1965? It was Lyndon Johnson.
Reagan?
No.
George Washington.
No way.
No,
Who was it?
It was Lyndon Johnson.
Yeah, you're fucking right.
Why
it
do you
was.
know that?
Because he was the president after Kennedy was assassinated, which happened in 1964.
I am a
Or
student.
63. 63.
I'm an
yeah.
alumni of
November
Kennedy
22nd,
Elementary
1963.
Wow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Good work.
64 was the Beatles. Yeah. November 22nd, 1963. Lyndon Johnson took over. He's the
LJ.
VP. He's the VP. Yeah. Anyways, we've gone on for too long. If you've made it this far, thank you. Thank you for making it to the end of the podcast. You're amazing.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah, what is wrong? Well, it's because, I mean, if you love the Red Sox, this was a nice little escape from having to fucking think about them. Like if you love the Red Sox and you still wanted your Red Sox fix, but you didn't want your fix to be talk about the Red Sox right now, this is the perfect podcast.
Just look back on 2013 and be happy again.
Yeah, because talk about fucking Will Middlebrooks pops in. Love that. Jake, you got any takes?
I just can't wait for people to see the 3-hour, 30-minute timestamp and be like, all right, let's hop into some Blue Jays Sox talk.
You gotta wait till halfway through hour 4 to get the Jays talk. But you get it. You get it at the end. You just gotta hang in there.
Hot takes in there. Very
Yeah,
hot.
it comes. It comes. It's a slow burn. It's a slow burn, as they say. Making it 3.5 hours without Coley, crazy.
Look what we're
Crazy.
capable of. Are you going to call him?
No, I just was texting Will back. Will said good stuff. I said that was A+.
I'll give it. He is as natural as anybody. Like,
He's
not
great.
awkward, not uncomfortable. Like, knows how to keep conversation going. Impressive. I see why
He's a
Nesson
pro.
likes him.
He's a pro. He's a pro's pro. So hopefully more Will in the future.
Is there any of a Pat Light Will Middlebrooks relationship? Obviously, you know, when Pat was drafted, it was right around the time he was getting to the big leagues. But wonder if there's any connection there.
I think they would have been teammates at AAA at one point. No, maybe no.
Probably
No?
not.
Probably
I don't
not.
think so.
I don't know if they ever crossed paths.
Pat Light. Oh yeah, no way in hell. No, he was drafted in 2012, so right when Middlebrooks was really in the middle of his.
Yeah.
But you know, in the big leagues at the same time.
Yeah. Unless like Will was like on a rehab assignment or something like that when Pat was in AAA. I don't know. But I think by that time, Will might have been in San Diego. I don't know. We'll find out. Tune in next week to find out if Will Middlebrooks and Pat Light have ever crossed paths. If Pat's even going to show up. I doubt it. He said he would,
I have
though. He
faith.
said he would.
I'm betting on it.
I said I think he'll show up because he knows he rises to the occasion. It's the last podcast of the season. It's when the Name Redacted podcast goes from 2 episodes a week to 1 after the season's over. So this is, what the fuck day is it? Today's Monday. It's after midnight. This is the last week of 2 podcasts a week. Once the season's over, we go back to 1 until the season starts again. So
Will we be getting a Pat's picks on Wednesday?
Mhm.
We have to, right?
Pat's picks, top five museums. Top 5 museums in the United States or the world.
The world. Let's not make it easy.
Top 5 museums in the world. Pat's picks. So tune in on Thursday for that and the conclusion to the 2022 Boston Red Sox season. Thank you so much for listening. Enjoy your week. And it's almost over. 3 more.
Buenas noches, amigos.